What up? What up?
Life is full. Hey.
Wagwan.
Hey, how are you, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Holy smoke. It is a new year.
It's 2018.
A true that thing. So I was just I was trying to explain to somebody something the other day about the Volkswagen commercial, this whole H&M scandal.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, there are certain things you can do, and you can get away with certain things if you do it. Everything is in context, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, one of the greatest ads where people were like freaking out, except for Jamaicans, was the VW ad, where the white guy's talking in the thing, because he's a white guy from Minnesota, but he's like, obviously he's in a and he's like, and the whole office is down on stuff, and he keeps using all the little lingo and the Rasta lines that a guy from Jamaica would say to you just to chill out and be cool and, you know, be happy, right? And that's exactly what would happen if and I'm like, yeah, man, just be cool, everything's gonna be all right, you know what I mean? And so he keeps doing that. So that I remember a lot of the U.S. American guys were like, this is terrible, this is cultural appropriation. I'm like, yeah, it's really an ode to Jamaica. You go there and people, you know, like, we have our problems and all kinds of things are going on, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear somebody say, yeah, that's cool out, Winston.
You know, I've never seen that video before.
What? I'm sending that shit to you right now.
I'm on YouTube right now. Just like,
yeah, look it up.
Can you hear it, by the way?
No, I don't.
No.
Okay. But I'll send you the actual white Jamaican guy who did a spoof of it, which is really hilarious. I love that one.
Okay.
Because he's an actual, yeah. But the one I sent you is the guy who's actually a real white Jamaican.
The Gopher State.
Right? The Thousand Islands.
All right, I gotta watch the other one now. All right, so that was that one. Now this one.
The ending of that one is excellent with the Winston and the guys and the boss, and they get in the car. It's hilarious.
Okay, getting in the elevator.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I recognize that guy.
Yeah, he's a real Jamaican. He's called the Real Right Jamaican on Instagram. The machine. Yo, Wagwan. Microphone check. I'm not here yet, you know. Nah, man.
I wore this shirt just for Dwayne. Show off the hamburger meat.
Extra low V.
Extra low hamburger meat showing.
Hamburger meat.
This is the kind of shirt you wear if you've got tats.
Got a butterfly. You got a like canary, whatever it is that they wear. Yeah, but now you're, you know, rude boy.
He's muted now too.
Oh, you're muted. Can't hear you.
Man. Is it I wonder if his thing was muted.
It is. I mean, he's gonna go off and come back on. You're here. You're good. Yes.
I was recording. I was working on commercial stuff before this, just checking stuff out.
Oh,
if I had 10 more minutes, I would have played it.
Oh, it's all good. I'm literally did not have time this week to finish the chops, but I've gotten so much more savvier at Logic Pro. And I'm like, every time I see another thing, I'm like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can duck in this way. I'm like, oh, I can make it sound, and then I can just got the samples and stuff now. Now that I got my I'm learning a little bit more in my my machine. I can do some cool little little sound effect things, but I'm not gonna add that until we do something. Yeah, there you go. Wagwan.
There you go. Give it to us again. Check 1 on 2 on 3 and
One on
every kind of number I want.
1 1 2 1 2. Sound man.
No,
How come the
give me
thing
a little
not
more
sound
bass,
right?
yeah.
Look more bass. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, look more bass. What are you drinking? Lemonade?
You want that drink? No, it's a $12, sorry, $14 sparkling blush rosé that caught my eye at the front of the store because it's called Lola.
Oh, right. Nice.
What? Lola? Let me try this.
Lola.
I didn't even read what it was.
You were just like, you just
Hint of strawberry and hibiscus sun.
The marketing got your ass quick, boy.
It's fruit. It's Lola fruit.
La Fritz.
You know what? It could have been like absinthe or something. The name. It was just the name got me.
Yeah, you could have been floating right now. Imagine Greg really floating in the podcast. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this guy?
Nothing. Nothing.
It's all good, man.
You're like no
Happy
sugar,
20.
no sugar on the absence.
Yeah. Happy 2018. 2018.
Yeah, happy 2018. Big things.
There you go. Dwayne, what are you drinking?
DC.
Are you supposed to win triathlon if you had drink them things?
Make me float, man. You float. I'm not sinking this year.
Yeah, you idiot guy. You're an idiot. That statement. But not even pay attention to you now. I'm floating.
Dan, you probably missed that, but I went right by.
You could literally get a sponsorship for that, you know.
Diet Coke. The only way for me to get
the whole outfit could be a red Coke stripe.
If you are float, drink the Coke.
Drink the Coke. Roman Coke, you might get an ad still. So what it do, gentlemen? How was this holidays? I know I saw you for a brief minute.
Like quick.
In Orleans. I was going to Lana McQuaid to see the deals of the day, and he was happened to be at this basketball facility. It's a nice facility, man.
Capitol Courts.
Wow. That's a great
Courts?
Eric Palmer.
Yeah. So it's training.
It's wicked. Individual training
for basketball. Really cool. Yeah. It's like it's like super niche, and when you own that niche, you can just he's got a name for himself already.
Still taking lessons?
And he does it. He does it right.
Yeah, still taking lessons.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, that was too easy.
Oh no. It's terrible. He caught you out in the street with that.
I don't even know why you're doing that. Just a jump fake. Just a jump fake. That's really that hot.
So actually, just the other day, Heather was rubbing her lip. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
hi.
Brother.
How are you?
You can't hear.
Hello.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear. Can he hear us?
No, I unplugged it. I'm gonna put him on the headphones. Hang on.
Uh-oh. Remember how you did this? Breadcrumb trail.
Breadcrumb trail. Remember everything.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How are things?
Good.
Yeah. Wait. Cold up there?
Very cold.
Oh man.
Turn to the side. Did you have like a stripe in the what? I caught that.
Yeah,
it was serious.
Yeah, watch soccer regular now.
I always watch soccer with him anyway.
On Saturday? What do you watch? Did you watch this Saturday?
Yeah.
Early
today.
Morning.
And Sunday.
Whenever
it's on.
And her watching Arsenal.
Yeah.
West Ham.
Today was not a good day for Arsenal.
No, it wasn't.
Someone got shot.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever.
Well, Happy New Year. Hope you find a way to brave this cold. Sorry, you're cold.
Yeah, you're cold because it's not that cold in Toronto, and I know it's not that cold where you are.
It's minus 30.
Yeah, it's really cold. I'm not even gonna try and compare.
Yeah, Heather sent me a message saying it was just like some post somewhere of Ottawa being the coldest capital in the world.
It has to be.
It's true.
It has to be the coldest capital. I've never seen such a streak for the last few years with just a lot of snow and bitter cold, right? Like a lot of cold.
I would have thought there would have
weird
been some Russia place that was freezing, but nope.
What's weird is that it's in January, so I feel like it shouldn't be cold.
Yeah, but then there's February.
Did you guys have a couple of days of warmth last week in Toronto, in Ottawa?
I think one. I don't know.
It was like
I think there was
9.
one.
One day of warm, like we got like plus 12.
It was crazy.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Hug your sister for me.
All right, kiss. All right, man.
I was just telling you how you're asking what day that was really warm over there. But what did you? We got plus 12. What did you get? 0?
It was plus 10.
Oh, it was.
No.
At least you got a little
plus
something.
10.
It was raining. It was raining plus 10. Everything melted. Next day, it was all back.
Snow again. Yep. Dude,
You're like, wow, I
like,
can see the grass. No, you can't.
Within the 24 hours right after that, I was literally, it just started, ice pellets were coming down, and I was like, do I gotta go home and put salt on again?
Yep.
Oh my god, this has been the worst comeback to Canada ever.
No, I don't know what you were looking for, man. What were you expecting? You thought it was gonna be clean?
Listen,
you thought it was gonna ease you into
them didn't have winter last year in Toronto. I didn't have winter in New York. I just figured maybe I get eased into it. It's not like I knew that I was gonna avoid it completely, but this has just been an ass whooping since like the beginning of like the first day of December.
Yeah, it was like, yo, you think you can disappear and miss all this winter?
You know what it is? You know what it is? You cursed me basically because you had to outrun that little winter run, and then I brought it with me. So that's what happens.
Bro,
did Greg?
folklore,
Did you tell
man.
you about his winter run? He came to New York. He's supposed to come on the Thursday. He decides, okay, you know what? We're just gonna come for a few extra days. We'll come on the Sunday. Is it Sunday you came?
No, it was like the Friday morning. So we were gonna come the Wednesday. You
were gonna come the Wednesday. It's gonna come the Wednesday. Gets there on the Friday.
Like Thursday night late.
Thursday night late. So really, there was no Thursday. We just got pizza, and then that was it, right?
Yeah.
So we got pizza. Started out pretty decently early. By the time
the plan was to do Friday, Saturday, and come back to Ottawa sometime on Sunday.
It sounds like a okay time.
Right. So the whole time there's like warnings flashing up on every phone and every screen that there's this massive winter storm coming to New York.
In the US.
So we're like, I'm like, well, you know what? I don't think it may or may not hit like the way they say it's supposed to hit. Then it's coming close to the next day. We're traveling around and people are like, that's all they're talking about. And they're like, you know, I'm like,
they close the schools,
they close everything. So we're on the road and there's no snow yet. There's nothing. And we're in the city. And I'm like, Dwayne, either you figure you're going to leave now or you're going to leave really early in the morning. And this guy, no sleep, because remember they just got there. He did all that driving. Then the next day we went pretty much like the fastest shopping you could possibly do in New York. Like I'm like, okay, Soho, that's easy. I'll take a picture here. Click, click, click. Okay, let's go. And then we get back to the house. And gets to the house. Ticket on the car.
2 tickets.
2 tickets, yeah, but
2 tickets with the same time anyway.
And it was easy to get that stupid pass too, unfortunately. And then he just beats the bad weather. Like literally, I'm like, bro, he drove straight. He was like, yo, he said he was so tired. He drove all the way back, no sleep. Oh my god.
So driving out of New York, we were ahead of it.
Yep.
Driving into Jersey, we were kind of meeting it. Driving into Pennsylvania, we were right on top of it. There were
Oh,
cars
man.
swerving off the highway or left, right. The snow plows were like, mm-mm. The snow plows
Yeah.
were not even plowing.
They weren't even out. Yeah, they were like,
They
So wait,
weren't
were you
plowing.
going through the Poconos?
Yes.
yeah, which is the
Oh
worst
God.
part.
Right.
That's where snow really comes down.
So it was 4-wheel low and just keep it moving.
Yep.
Damn.
And people swerving off the road. I'm like, I'd stop, but sorry, guy.
I'm a full car. I'm
Gotta go.
on an extra blanket for no.
For real. For real. Because if you try to stop, you're
This wouldn't
finished. You're
happen.
cooked.
Yeah, you cook, mate.
Yeah. So we made it back we crossed the border, I think at about 6 in the morning.
Mm.
So we pulled into Ottawa probably like 9:30 or 10.
I don't know how you do it.
Dude,
No.
but you know what? The thing was, I wasn't that worried about him because you do those long haul drives all the time.
You should be a trucker, like a rapist.
Yeah, yeah. You just pick people up and chop them up, put them in the back.
How you doing?
Need a ride?
Why do you have so many teddy bears? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I never worry about him because he's always driving. Like when you had to go see your brother, you go down there, you drive straight.
Straight.
Frig, man, I can't do that, man. My foot
I would
don't
say
work.
that you've got other drivers in the car, but they're all sleeping.
Yeah. No, dude, she never stays. He curses. He's like, oh, at least Anita will be up. And he looked at Anita sideways in front of my face, bro. And he's like, please. She
She's
said
on the
she'll
way
be
back.
gone. She'll be gone in the first hour.
Yo, we didn't. I remember where you live. We didn't even get to the Dunkin' Donuts. She was like,
Fam, I lie.
guy.
It's just around the corner from me.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get some gas. You gonna wake up? Or what? Around
Petro and a donut. She was done.
I can't say much because I've been known to fall asleep in the cars as well.
I don't anymore. I don't particularly eat anything too heavy, especially when I'm driving. It's a thing now. Well, you know, that time that I flipped with Greg, that keeps me awake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
Yes. Hold
Yes.
on.
Yes, Greg.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Wow.
Damn.
That dude, that
401.
that was something else. Yeah. I'd say it was something to see, Dwayne, but it's really not anything that you needed to see or feel. Believe me.
And you
That was
walked out unscathed, man.
That was it. Show Surviving 401 or
One of those
Highway
crazy.
Rescue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been
That was it.
someone taping that.
That was a show. And it's crazy because there were so many other cars along the way. Like we had seen too, like trucks, cars, this, that, anything. And it turned out like that was one of the worst, not the worst, like where they had those crazy pileups that we've seen on that ice storm that was in between Coburg and whatever. They had to shut the highway down. But there was a lot of cars in ditches.
Mhm.
Pre us and after us.
Oh yeah.
So
I just remember the curtain as we're coming into it was a dry, dark night. And
Yep.
the curtain as you're coming towards Kingston.
dude, and then the sheer, and I kept putting my hand out the window. I'm like, why does it feels like this is not rain? This is like, and I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, it's just shearing cold ice.
Wow.
And it's starting to build up and go and go and go. And we're traveling at a decent rate. My guy tries to take the next lane, and that kept going, bro. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, we start turning, and I was like, up, hold on. And that was it. I don't remember too much after that.
Flip, 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 flip.
Flip, 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 into the ditch. And thank God we did go into the ditch, because if we were in the road, it wasn't that visible. There wasn't a lot of visibility. There was trucks behind us. There was all kinds of cars. We could have got hit a few more times. Easily. The ditch saved our life. And especially that there was nothing really in the ditch anyways. There was like no major rocks. It was all like kind of soft, snowish, you know, whatever. But when we look at that car,
Climbing out of the
side, no, because we were on our side, so we had to come out of
your window.
Yeah, my window.
And find my BlackBerry to call 911.
Yeah. It was
That's a
crazy,
story.
man. Yeah. Good thing everybody had their seatbelts on.
If I move forward with like 1 minute stories, it's one of them.
Yeah. Those are the greatest. Then we went to go look at the car, and I'm like, God damn.
You know what ended up happening? One of the guys from the same dealership that I used to work at,
Yeah.
Camco Acura, bought it
Really?
from the insurance company, straightened it, and then sold it in the open market for a good piece of money.
Listen, let me say
Straightened
something.
it?
Yeah, the door was all mashed in, like the
Like the
door
frame,
on the
But the
side.
frame was all right?
No.
Yeah, the frame
I
was
think-
mashed up.
Listen, let me
Yeah.
tell you. No. Let me tell you something. That car's tough, man. Whatever they did to build that, because the car should have been mashed up that much more. And I'll tell you, the other saving grace was that I didn't know till after when we went to the car was, I'm like, are those side door panel airbags?
And
Bro,
reinforcements.
Remember, those were that wasn't too many cars didn't have
That's
that.
cutting
man.
edge, yeah. That's cutting edge.
That
Japanese.
saved my whole side from. Let me tell you that right now. Well, for both of us. You know? That's crazy. Did the back window bust out? Yeah, because what's her name was in the back, and she was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." She was
No scratch, though.
She was freaking out. Yeah, she was no scratches.
Her name was Shannon, by the way.
Shannon. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I was like, Shannon and her daughter. What's her daughter's name? Alyssa. Yeah. She was good. She was a little freaked out. I was like, come, let's go to the corner store, go get some snacks. Here's a kid's magazine. Like, I was like, just to keep her,
Yeah.
she was really quiet, right? Like, she seemed like
Still is kind of
shocked, but she was like she was not really, she was like still not responsive.
She's back in Toronto. She finished her PR communications degree.
Oh, good.
And she's working for a PR agency.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Good for her.
Good for her.
All right. What are we talking about tonight? What's going on?
I don't know. What did we have listed? We talked about some stuff, and we'll do the intro right away after that. What did we say that we were going to talk about? You had listed something. We listed some things.
Oh, I'm looking it up. It was.
I'm trying to scroll through here. What did we miss? Try talking about. Oh, trying something new for the year. That was my suggestion.
Learning something new, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there was something that one of you guys said. I can't remember what it was. I'm trying to scroll down here. Oh, we're not going to talk about CrossFit. Fuck y'all.
Pixel versus iPhone.
Pixel. No, but there was something before that even too.
There
Something before that too. Mm-hmm.
was getting back in shape. There was some iPhone thing. Oh, Fitcoin.
Fitcoin. Yeah, that was Fitcoin. That's where the CrossFit thing came up for. Retail closing and the way of selling goods. Yeah, we could.
Let's pick two.
Sure.
See what's up.
I don't know what Fitcoin is or what you're talking about.
No, we're not doing Fitcoin. That's bullshit.
Hey, if someone can create Dogecoin.
Dogecoin? What the fuck is that?
Well, let's talk about it then.
All right, we're gonna talk about let's talk about these coins in general, okay? Because I know, first of all, the best person in the room to talk about this, because he's a super skeptic, is Dwayne. So we are definitely talking about this because he ain't
because I'm a skeptic.
Because you're a man who don't buy into to imaginary coins. I'm with you, but you're really on it. Like you're like, nah, dog. Not got something. If me can't see it, touch it, you know, auntie.
Didn't we actually cover Bitcoin, Zuri?
We started talking about it. And like a couple days after that, I read some guy was going to like Chuck E. Cheese or something like that and taking their coins and selling them to people as Bitcoin.
Yeah.
This is madness.
So, is that a bad thing? Chucky coin? Chuck coin? Well, why don't we do this actually for Bitcoin? Why don't we cover Bitcoin and the blockchain for musicians and stuff as a separate topic for one of the things that would take up the whole time.
Sure, let's do that.
So that leaves us.
Then we're going to talk about either the retail closing and the new way of selling goods, or which kind of could lead into blockchain, or we can talk about.
Well, this time of year, I think shopping might be topically relevant, given that everybody's coming back.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that I've been reading that I'd like to get into, but yeah, we could do that, and then we can just talk about the one thing we could try in like the really short that we want to try and
try something new.
Yeah. Wait, so are we doing retail and new, or just doing retail?
No, we'll do retail new. The new things could be really short, man. Like that's just like we're just gonna say it, and then that's it. There's no real discussion unless one of you guys are gonna say something crazy like, "Oh, you're gonna try new craft it, Neve?"
No, I will say something else though, but internally focused, not
internally focused, not
externally.
Yeah, assholes.
Like, why am I wearing a deep V?
Yeah, why are you? What, do you have salt in your hand? You gonna do this now? You'll be like,
"What are you talking about me in?"
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Close this door because it's
getting 200 Google Cloud credits every month. Nice.
Who is?
Just got an offer because part of the Google partnership just got something saying that we've reached the stage where now we can get $200 in Google Cloud credits for the thing that we were working on. Nice. Nice.
One subject I do want to take up on maybe next week is the weed trade market. Man, I hear old guys talking in Starbucks. Yeah, I bought stock and it's just been going crazy. It's been going up, and I'm like, how did we miss that boat?
Weed?
Yeah. How are we people, the people who originated like just the original ganja push our smokers culture and not in this market?
Jamaica's been trying to.
Jamaica's playing itself, and it's been forever.
But they're trying to do something. I know Marley's in it deep already.
Dude, he's in Colorado, and he's like, okay, fine. Jamaica doesn't want to do it. I'm in Colorado. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. And we're way behind now because there's every other type of weed that's like, and we shouldn't be just doing weed. We should be doing like medical, like people come to the islands.
This is great content.
Yes, I know.
Let's have this discussion.
We're gonna have this. You know what? Let's have this discussion because I think it's relevant to right now. Right. And Ontario, we just got into this thing with Ontario. So let's just do introduction. Greg, you take it away.
All right. Welcome everybody to episode. That's blank because we're gonna put some shit in there. Everybody, welcome to the shit I like. We three dudes talking about stuff we like, the type of things that you're thinking about, talking about. That's us. The shit I like. Let's do it.
All right. So I guess today our subjects are later on after we finish our first part of our discussion. We're going to talk about doing something new. I thought about this last year, and I think every year I want to try and do one or two things new. And so we're gonna talk about what we're gonna try and do something new that we've never really done before.
Whether you're doing new or that we're doing new.
Oh, we are all going to be doing.
Oh, right. One of us is going to lose.
Either we can talk about. You can just think about it, but I'm gonna proclaim mine this week. But we're gonna at least get into that subject, and it'll be very short. But our bigger subject is, as some of you may or may not know, Ontario has legislated that weed is legal. Is that the appropriate term for it?
Decriminalized in Canada.
Decriminalized.
Soon to be legal.
Soon to be legal.
July 1st of 2018.
So that means that means you can go to a recreational store and purchase
the LCBO. Actually, a new version. So the LCBO, the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, has gained the ability to actually also trade in weed. And they're going to take all of their existing infrastructure and their way of dealing with previously contraband kind of items and creating sub-stores, different experiences, but super high tech, all in weed, like many, many strains, varieties, trying to find ways to make it smart so that you know where to go, which of the various LCBO or whatever they're going to be called for weed venues. You can go for the specific thing you want, what's in
organic,
Kush, whatever it is you're looking for. But yeah, that is they're taking the successful path of controlling and making liquor available to almost everybody in Ontario in an easy way, and they're doing the same thing with weed.
And so we're already seeing the ads on TV about recreational use in terms of don't smoke and drive. Never mind drink and drive.
Yeah.
Don't smoke and drive is a thing now. Although I know a certain man who will be able to drive much better with weed than they are with definitely with liquor. I don't know why anybody would drink with that much liquor in their system anyways, but I know tons of people who smoke. Unless you're really young and really dumb and just smoke that to the point you can't even see, which makes no sense whatsoever. You wouldn't be able to get behind a wheel anyways, but you're too tired. You're hungry.
It is a brand new world.
It's a really look. I'm a yachty. I'm a Jamaican background. I was conceived in the land of wood and water, and I can tell you I've never smoked a day of weed. Now, have I been in many venues that are so smoked up that maybe I've been slightly high? I'm not going to admit to that, but maybe. But I don't have any reference in terms of usage, but I can say that it's definitely something that's interesting. Oh, this guy got the whole background thing again, eh?
Yep.
Yo, they don't really respect you.
It's just peaches, man.
Yeah.
It's just peaches.
Just peaches, eh?
See, she has to show her face.
Just that's all it was about. So you know that's all
it was about peaches. How
it was.
I didn't know you're on.
Oh, I didn't know you're on. Oh, what are you listening to? Oh, you're on the podcast with your friends. Oh.
Let me fix my hair.
Let me fix my hair.
Was she coming for a tea?
It's coming for a tea. Anyways,
so where do we stand on this weed business? As
long overdue. I say it's
overdue.
Long overdue.
Look, man, cops ain't got like on a legal aspect and resources. We're wasting time with weed. We know everything that we need to know about in terms of, and everyone's gonna say, well, it's a gateway. Look, gateway can happen for a lot of things. There's alcohol out there, so that can take you from one thing to another to another. It's about usage, responsibility, and we know a lot of medical things that change the perception of what weed really is.
But how are they going to pick and choose? And then the questions that I ask: how are you going to pick and choose what is okay and what is not okay?
Yeah,
right. So
we mean, what's a heavy strain? What's a low strain?
If you want to take this strain or this derivative of heroin because your doctor is going to sign off on it, it's okay, knowing that you could potentially get hooked on it.
But they do it in Europe. They know that certain people have to wean off the heroin, so they have the places, and it's a controlled situation. And because it was getting out of hand and causing disease and rampant AIDS, like it's happening in North Florida right now, this is you gotta at some point in time the rubber meets the road and you gotta address it for real. And so I mean, to answer your question slightly, is it not better to understand what the different levels are and control it as such? So let's put alcohol, and I know it's apples and oranges, but 100 proof versus the 7% beer. Now everybody knows that the high percentage beer, like they try not to go over a certain percentage beer because they know people just randomly just drink a beer and then drink a next beer and drink the next beer. You really shouldn't have a 15. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't have a 15% alcohol beer. Like, that makes no sense, right? Like there's a certain level.
There are some beers that
listen, but I'm just saying in general, it's just
changes the taste, right? And
changes the taste is the whole ruling. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a leisurely thing that has a certain amount of flavor, and the alcohol is part of it, right? The hops, this, that, the other thing, and the third. You have 100 proof rum. Man's not backing. No, listen, if you're an alcoholic, you might be backing down a whole bottle of Jack Daniels or something like that, but that's very, very sparse and random, right? Now, during Prohibition, there was a lot of problems with man them beating woman, alcohol just rampant. That's why they shut it down the way they did. There was some rules now that went into place to help at least control some sort of, like the bars would have to tell a guy he can't drink after a certain time, even though we know sometimes it doesn't always happen. But there's at least more of a consciousness about how to drink, how much you should drink, the effects of alcohol, this, that, and thing. Weed is going to go through the same thing. And this is a society that's been smoking weed since I can't remember. I didn't grow up smoking weed. Everybody around my block were smoking like hash, whatever the fuck that was.
Hash.
Like the headbangers, that's what they were doing. It was hash. And then coming through the 90s, the weed thing came up. But that's not me. That's not those kids were smoking that, right? So there's a whole generation of kids who've been coming up through that. So it's not like we're rookies at this. I don't see what the real issue is going to be.
Supposedly, and I know Joe Rogan goes on his rants about why the strain of cannabis and hemp, why they were considered illegal in the States, and it was about somebody that wanted to do cotton as opposed to hemp threads and blah blah blah.
Oh right, yeah.
Right? So there's a big story behind that part of it.
Of course,
it actually makes sense.
Yep.
Right, but from a standpoint of it being a consumable, like it's been around for thousands of years.
Yep.
Thousands of years, and like I personally, I don't see a problem with it.
No,
and again, like just based on my background, where I'm from, and what I grew up around, all that, it is what it is, man.
But I also think that it's also very good. Like, I know that like you have a wine at the end of work because you had a stressful day. It's a way to unwind. Some people take that to the next degree, as Greg is right now. If you guys could see that,
the Lola. Drinking the Rose Lola.
He's drinking that Rose Lola, son. He's so caught by the marketing. That's the other thing too. Like, how are they gonna market this? Like, are you gonna have the Snoop Dogg, the Damian Marley, the Marley House herb? How they're gonna control like the marketing the way they didn't want to stop, the way you would stop smoking from the smoking tobacco industry, right? Like, is that just all in-house and not on the road?
Remember how they used to market cigarettes?
Like, like it was a cool thing.
Refined. No, it was refined. You'd see the woman in the long glove and the the cigarette this long. Like they can market it any way they want. Yeah. Right now, everybody thinks that it has
legally
to be.
They can't do that here, right? Like because of the smoking.
Well, the smoking bylaw and whatever. Like, well, not bylaws, but the laws about marketing.
Yeah.
Something that could be hazardous to your health and all that other stuff behind it, right? So
I was in a room and this question came up and someone said, like, super dry, no emotion, kind of matter of fact to say, do you really think they need marketing? Supply and demand.
It's true, supply and demand.
If you have the supply, the demand in this case exists, and now's the question: can you actually make it available?
I mean, how much money did Colorado make last year? I'm going to check it out, but keep talking. Sorry.
So in downtown Ottawa,
surplus. Oh my God, Colorado. Anyway, when you come up with a number, they made so much money, like, and their supply and demand, they were running out. They could not keep up with the demand for cannabis.
Okay, so CNN Money says.
Now the other part, while you're looking that up, is the people going out of business. So the dude who is in downtown Ottawa on Rideau Street, as you're walking by, he goes, hash. Like, as you get eye contact, you want some hash. The dude selling on the street. I mean, this decriminalization makes it not a criminal act, right? But then what happens to that dude? What is he selling now? You're now taking.
He's still going to be able to sell, but people want to buy. Like when you want to know, and right, you think about, like you're talking about alcohol. So when you were buying from Bootleg Bob,
yes,
you didn't know if there were dog hairs in there,
exactly,
or what he used to, like, was the stuff clean? Was this to that? Right? What is the actual proof of the alcohol that you're getting? You have no idea.
You're not getting moonshine. It's not going to make you blind.
By the way, do you still have moonshine at your house that I left there?
Oh, we drank that. Drank
Did
a
I
long
accidentally drink moonshine at your house? Is this what happened?
time.
There was a dude who was
Sorry,
right
so
beside.
just to give you guys some reference, Colorado has harvested $500 million in taxes and fees since its legalization recreational weed.
$500 million.
Yep, since 2014. The revenue
That's
from the
not that
taxes
crazy.
fees. This is
2014.
this is CNN money. Revenues from taxes fees increased each year from $76 million in 2014 to $200 million last year, and the state is on track to beat this year, according to VS Strategies, which uses state revenue data in its report Wednesday. So yeah,
That's a lot of money.
yeah.
Tuning.
So the state
He's like, $500 million is
the
not
state
much.
applies a 2.9
Since 2014.
sales tax. So what do we do as a sales tax? How's that going to work here?
Probably it'd be the same thing.
15%.
It's a luxury tax. Same kind of thing.
Same. Okay.
It's the same thing. They'll treat it the same as alcohol.
Yeah, and then it says there's a recreation. In addition to sales tax of 2.9, the state charges an excess of 15% and a special tax of 10% plus license and application. Yo, they are reaping money, mate.
Yep.
And Canada's going to do the same thing.
That's good. So now I wonder, are they also going to be doing like the cannabis oil? Is it just
that's going to happen too. Eventually, this will be the cafe and the thing. I mean, it won't be Amsterdam, but it'll be there.
So if instead of my matcha green tea, can I get a weed green tea?
But you can't smoke inside, so there's going to be a thing that is going to be outside. There's going to be somebody who's going to, because it'll be decriminalized, you'll be able to sit outside in the cafe, smoke your herb, and hold your Jamaican coffee if they're smart. Jamaica, get with the times. Jesus.
Oh, the salad's going to be so great.
Where it gets dangerous for me is when you start talking about edibles, because I don't think people understand. And Joe Rogan actually put me onto this game, and I looked it up. It is a real thing because I've never done edibles. I don't know anything about that stuff, but I know that once you cook something, right, you bake it, it changes the molecular structure of certain things, and it
becomes
stronger. It's very different, and not everybody is this. Again, strains of weed have different effects on different people. People are going to try different things until they find the thing that they like the best, right? It's like a wine or anything else. Like, you're going to find the thing that hopefully works for you well. Edibles is very volatile if you're not, I mean, it's not dangerous, but you could really hallucinate. Some people people swear by it. Other people are like, hell no, I can't do edibles. No way.
But picture going into a store, picture going into a Shoppers Drug Mart, because Loblaws did bid to be one of the
lie.
carriers. Oh, no way. Long time, because they own Shoppers Drug Mart, right?
Right.
And they wanted to be able to distribute it as through their pharmacies type thing,
and in their stores for the various locations.
Okay.
Yes.
Man, this is crazy.
Right?
This is so crazy.
Picture you go up to the pharmacist or whoever the weed assist.
The weed assist. Yeah, that's my next job, eh? A weed assist. Forget about the pianist.
And then you say, "Yo, I'm looking for a blah 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 blah." Right? I don't I get these headaches sometimes, and they tell you, "Well, you want to go with this, right? Give this a try. You only want to take a little bit as opposed to
right."
So it's just more refined and professional. And
I'm gonna send you the podcast with this woman who's called Dr. something. She's actually this is chick that's a good friend with Snoop Dogg, and she's a doctor of weed, I guess, a doctor of something. And she is consulting on that new Netflix weed show. It's about basically weed depot, and she's always dropping knowledge bombs about exactly that. She's like, people ask her, like, what should I say? Well, what do you, how you act? And like, okay, well, this would probably be good for you for a first time. And then if you want to do that, there's going to be people who are really experts. I mean, I already know experts from being around guys from time. Like, guys are like, yo, they can tell you certain strains from certain places, and like they're deep in it. Those guys should be opening shops. Those guys who have been in it for a minute.
And I think eventually they will be able to open shops, but they
Right.
want to, when they roll it out, they want to make sure that it's controlled,
Right.
that it's not getting into.
Yeah, but are we gonna wait for? Is that gonna happen for forever? The way people had to wait this long just to get. Now we only just got alcohol in Ontario in corner stores at Le Dépanneur on the Ontario side.
Yeah, but the LCBO,
Le Dépanneur.
the LCBO was raking in billions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Right? Why would they chunk piece off to right a corner or a dépanneur?
Because people need jobs.
They wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Why would I do that? Why am I going to give Metro a cut of my money? Metro, just hold on. Let me tie it up in some legislation for a while.
So where does it end? So now let's say I'm a restaurateur, and I previously tried the hookah, those things the Arabic
yes,
dudes
yes.
branch out or something. Or I finish my steaks in a pan with butter and garlic and thyme, and now it's weed butter. Mm-hmm. Where I could see the LCBO being a great place to start because it's controlled. You can control the tax, the distribution, but where do you stop?
Well, I think it's going to go down. Look what's happening in Colorado. There's a special license. You know what the special license means? It means if you got money and you put up front, then you get access.
You get to do it.
And this is exactly what people are arguing, especially people of color in the United States are saying, this is the bullshit we've been talking about. Man, them is selling weed on the corner block for how long? 19 how long? And they can't. Now you're going to be like, well, all of a sudden it's legal. What? And bigger question, what about all the guys who are in prison right now for selling weed?
Yeah, so there is Kathleen Wynne.
Yeah,
in Ontario, Kathleen, Premier of Ontario, is looking at finding a way to, because it's decriminalized, to provide almost like a pardon to those who had previously had a record and have it expunged. Now, what that means to someone like currently doing time, I don't know. Is there any reparations for someone who, I don't know.
No, there's no reparations. What it is, look, if the guy did anything violent, then he's still going to prison for being violent. That's just not just because he was selling weed and protecting his crop and he had to bust 2 shots at a man doesn't mean he gets out. What it means is if a guy is like, he's been selling and then he has a record for just selling and it's been whatever, it should be expunged because everybody else has been like, why is that be held against him for selling? Because at some point prohibition stopped. And now you can't hold it against somebody who was running liquor and now are like multi-millionaires. When you look at the guys in the South, a lot of those guys, they're original liquor runners and now run some of the biggest liquor companies in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, they ain't in jail. So they don't have a record.
They paid off the right people at the right time.
Well, this is my whole thing with, as good as it is, and I do believe in the control because it can be the Wild West if you let it. That's why Colorado everybody was waiting to see what Colorado did, and it was a good thing. And I think a lot of people who have like seizures, a lot of medical stuff, cancer is a big thing. You know what I mean? And of course the industry, the medical industry is going to jump it all over that instead of trying to look to stop cancer. They're going to be like, here, just take this, just mediate the PN, more things to sell. But I mean, it has been doing that for years. And people who have high anxiety, all these other things that should be not just the smoking aspect of it, but the actual medical use of it, I think it causes a really big industry. But again, it leaves out everyday people. That's going to be the 1% that are going to win this race. If it's not at least open to other people being able to get in, like, not saying every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but if there's a special license, it shouldn't cost $2 million as a buy-in so that you can own a store because that's the risk. There's a risk factor. So the $2 million to make sure that you don't do the wrong thing. No, that just means that you got to have money or some backing and whatever, and then you can get in with it. This is what I'm afraid of.
On the other side, I'm looking forward to the different ways, the new way to purchase. So if it's available, and this is, someone who takes Uber, who uses the Uber Eats or Ritual for food, and
send me a dime bag and
yes. So can I just pick up
Yeah.
And I've picked up and I walked away. There's nothing changing hands.
Yeah.
There's no worry. So is there a way, or will they do this? Will they try to make it above board, but make the purchase experience kind of like going to a dealer? You walk in,
and less
away,
shameful
no
too.
money.
Yeah, just like
money, just not in front.
Yeah, well, so Colorado. I don't know if we've solved that problem, but I know in Colorado, people had a hard time. There's no banking system that wanted to touch being able to do a direct deposit. I don't know if they've figured that out, but for a while, it was like you had to go walk with the cash to put it in the bank machine, and cats are like hiring ex-military guys to walk with them because it's a lot of cash to walk with every day, mate.
Yeah, that's where your digital currency will come in.
Right.
Pardon, Dwayne?
Blockchains.
But it's legitimate. I say it's legitimate because
there is
something tangible.
Exactly.
I give you this, and you will give me that.
Give me this, yeah. That is fucking fake coin thing. I don't know about them things yet, man. I'm scared.
It'll be interesting to see. And I guess after Prohibition, this is years now, but going back to restaurants for a minute or food, knowing that when you cook something in the alcohol world, if you get it to a certain temperature, you're getting rid of the alcohol. All you're left with is flavor. So you can have a bourbon, sugar, ice cream, something on some restaurant menu.
Oh yeah, I think the gastro guys are gonna go nuts for this. Like they're gonna really try and see how far they can take it. Why wouldn't they? It's
there's a show on Viceland that all they do is like infuse things with weed.
Infuse shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right. I forgot about that show. This guy infuses everything with weed.
Everything. It's like, yo, let me add some weed to that. I'm gonna look it up, man. I just can't remember the name of the show, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing too, which is a good point here. But again, I keep going back to the little dudes. Like, look, the reason why a guy on a block is selling herbs is because there's no lack of opportunity. And
it's because people want it.
Yeah, and people want it. Lack of opportunity, people want it. Look, that's. I mean, look, supply and demand. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but so what happens now when Joe drug dealer who's been kind of depending on that for the block, and don't get me wrong, I think that the violence will go down. A lot of things will go down, but one thing will replace another if people aren't in the loop, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Not selling one thing, it'll be something else.
What happens to the adjacent, like the accessory market? What happens to papers? What happens to bongs?
Well, if rappers are smart at this point, they were like, yo, everybody should have a paper with their own name on it, basically. You know what I mean? Snoop was doing it. But I think the vapor thing, that's why a lot of celebrities got in early on vapors because of vapor pens, because the THC oil is where the real money is at. Because if you're smoking because a lot of the guys like those Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys do it just to relax and kind of come down, and it's it's not as smoke intensive, but I mean there's a whole other industry there too, right? Like those vape guys are really gonna do it, and that's why Snoop got in with the vape stuff early, because his thing was worried. That's the reason why he didn't open up a vendor, because he said under federal law they could still come and kick in your door. So it could be legal, one thing, but the feds could still come and check you. And he's like,
the show is called Bong Appetit.
That shit is dope.
I checked it out.
Bong Appetit. Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be now this need for so there's the purchase kind of without money, like a back pocket app where you're walking in, taking your stuff, like the Uber experience where the money changes hands without money physically changing hands. What if
Which is safer, by the way, because nobody can rob you.
Yeah. What if it's one level up? What if you're purchasing VR? What if you're purchasing weed in virtual reality?
What?
So wait, you're gonna go into your virtual VR lobby, talk to a man. He's gonna give you the exchange, and then where does it go?
It gets delivered to you.
Well, yeah, for all those VR player kids, but then you have a lobby where you deal with people.
Virtual reality, okay.
Why wouldn't I just look at my phone, click the one I want? Or you guys, it's a lobby that you want to talk to somebody specifically.
Exactly. I want to check it out.
Unless it's international. Well, you could go into a store and you'd be like, you know, let me do a virtual class, or you could do virtual classes on what kind of weed. I think that's a whole other thing, like just understanding the market. But I don't see it getting past that though, because at the end of the day,
VR people, they're looking for content. And they talk about need for accessories. I can get this, get this, all delivered.
Yeah. Well,
don't have to leave. I don't have to put on pants. I don't have to put on pants.
This sounds like a website.
This does.
Have you guys ever been in VR, by the way?
Oh yeah, I've been doing a lot of VR. I'm sold. I don't want to give it away, but yeah,
let's talk more about it then. Yeah,
I think the VR thing for a lot of other music stuff, like the possibilities are endless. Just because I've seen the immersion of it, and the collaborations you could do for people who are coding and people who are you know what I mean, like you're there, somebody else is halfway across the world, like stuff that we saw in movies where like, nah, that ain't possible, and the guys are doing now. It's crazy.
I'm glad that you're excited, because I'm not.
I'm totally
imagine
excited.
being able to collab with someone in real time, face to face, across the world.
Yep.
On one track.
It changes everything, because you see, let me explain something.
Like what we're doing now.
I know, but you know what happened before?
It's more immersive.
It's very, very different, because what happens
why do I got to put on those funky ass glasses and shit?
Listen.
So that way you can feel, you look around, you got 360 view, the parallax.
Greg, you're so on the right path. Let me tell you why.
I'm not a believer. I'm sorry, I'm not a believer.
Listen. You know how many rappers now just send the track and then they jump on the track, or so and so sends them a beat and then they're trying to imagine they're not being produced. What has happened is, guys, like, and that's why you're getting the really good producer says, look, the records that come out the best are when somebody is present and we work on a record together, versus me just sending them the beat and then they just kind of go on and jump on the track. And then so and so says, okay, let me.
I understand that.
You understand? So if you're in you're in the same lobby and we're going to collaborate on something from scratch, and I have my NPC with me right here, right now, and you're on the other side of the world, and I start banging.
And I'm looking at a Stickman Sneaks.
It doesn't matter.
Much better.
It's going to be much better than that. Way.
You guys can.
It's getting better. You have to see the potential.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, so think of it this way. Wait, hold on.
You're not sold, you
suspend disbelief for a second. Imagine now.
I'm trying.
I know you're trying.
Imagine. Remember the Much Music sessions where there would be intimate and interactive. Yes. Imagine there was a physical space in which Jay-Z and Beyonce were available to their people. You could be in the room with them and feel like they're right there, and that you're right there.
Yeah, you're not working on it, but you're in the room with Kanye and everybody else, and they're putting this together. And you were there.
Or it's a concert, or it's a backstage, or it's the level of immersiveness. To give you a sense, I was on top of a building in VR, and I looked down, and the same queasiness I get in the stomach as I'm in heights. It's the exact same thing. It's called presence in the VR world, and it's getting so much easier now with the improvements on from stick figures to like people, and you feel like you're there. It's unbelievable.
There's the Google World or Google Earth that you can do in VR now. If you want to walk your neighborhood and go like, oh, I want to see my old house. The house is exactly as you see it. The laneway, the everything. You just go there, you're like, oh, I want to show somebody, and you walk around and you look around and you feel like you're on your street. It's ridiculous.
We'll go back to VR, but weedvr.co is a project already started where you could go in and look at and check out and get answers and questions about your weed and your accessories, all from your couch and your Git.
This out.
Oh, that exists for real?
Yeah, right now. Weedvr.co.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So weed. So it's going to go everywhere. It's the question is how far can we take it, and how do you tax, or how do you benefit as a country or as a province who's responsible for making it available but also benefiting from it? It's one thing to have a license. It's one thing to charge vendors a certain license. But do you need a license for everything? If I'm making weed infused matcha green tea, do I have to pay a license?
Yes.
If I, you know,
yes.
No,
I'm saying this because, right? So from
because if you can serve liquor at a bar, then you have to pay. You have to have a license to serve liquor, no matter if it's infused in your coffee or not, even if it's a coffee shop.
And you have to ensure that everybody that's ingesting
Of
that
age.
is of age as well. So, like the same checks and balances that are in place for alcohol will be in place for weed. Right?
Does that mean there's going to be like a Gestapo put together to go and enforce?
Not even a Gestapo. It's to make sure that you have to make sure that, and right, you're still going to end up with people like, oh, I have a weed sensitivity. Can you ensure that spoon doesn't touch it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And you're still going to have house parties where kids who are 14 and 15 that got some weed in their pocket. They're smoking already anyways.
Yeah. Like, it is what it is. Like,
it is what it is.
Those 14-year-old kids are still getting their hands on alcohol. They're still getting hands on pills.
Yep.
They're still getting
Percocets, all that shit.
All those checks and balances are already in place, and it's still going down that way, which is an unfortunate byproduct. But if they really wanted to,
some control.
They could walk up the street and buy those pills from such and such and such and such. Anyway, right. This is the way that the government is going with weed. It's I think it's, again, long overdue, because the citizens of Canada have been saying, yo, why are you picking this one thing and saying that it's not legal when you're saying you can drink, you can take pills, you can this, you can that, you can do all this other stuff, but we're going to pick this one thing and say, no, it's the worst thing ever. Right? When in fact, it's been proven that it's not. Right?
Yep.
And we're proof beyond, anything, without a doubt.
It's so slight progress. I think it's going to go well.
Slight disclaimer. We were talking earlier about Weed VR. It is a company. We've got no affiliations. So I think I got to spend more time in like VR and figure it out. And I see the potential. I see where they're going with it, but
I'm beyond gaming. Beyond gaming is always going to be a gaming. Look, the gaming market, like if you look at Twitch, how much it's worth and what it's doing is great. But it's like when you look at just real time personal stuff. And I know this even is going to sound crazier. You're lying on the couch in VR and you're talking to your therapist.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you're somewhere else. You're actually talking to somebody. Because I just heard a podcast recently, and people are there's a new app in the phone line. You can get in touch with a therapist at any given moment if you want to. Like we're at that point, right?
And in that scenario, it's a 1-to-1. In a VR scenario, it's a 1 to millions, because that receptionist or therapist, doesn't have to be real.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And there's no VR porn. They're like up in it. There's like all kinds of craziness. But I'll show you something January 31st.
Sweet.
Next.
I'll wait for that date then.
Yes.
We show up to the crib with the via. Yeah. Oh, you start to freak out when you look through those things. It's crazy. The other thing I want to talk about the weed thing. So, what about the stock market? Like the stock price is going. I don't know if I can pull up the stock.
Well, for dispensaries, so dispensary stocks, they're going way up.
Yeah.
The people who are actually selling them.
Again, that's based on the speculation that they are going to be the ones that are producing for the government. Right.
Or even just dispensing. So the ones producing are too small to manage, but the dispensaries are the places in which you could manage, because those are places that would be they'd be blessed and they have to pay the tax, or they're big enough and manage to be able to manage going public and have stock, whereas individual dude in the corner couldn't. So this brings us back to weedvr.co for a second. Money Morning, which was covering stocks for the marijuana dispensaries, was making some quotes, and maybe in the show notes, we don't have show notes, but in the show notes, we could give a link to the article. But it's cannabis sales in North America are expected to increase 198% from 6.7 billion in 2016 to over 20 billion in 2020. And the weedvr.co is an organization that looks to be the first, maybe publicly known, to make the sale of marijuana easier. So rethinking the physical dispensary and making it a virtual dispensary, bringing down your costs for ongoing labor. The place that are going to make money, and those stocks that are trading are all in dispensaries. But maybe there needs to be a different thing traded. You're mentioning weed coin or candy, whatever it is.
I think that would make sense, because people don't want to walk around with their, well, they still walk around with their debit card or whatever, but if it's specific to, right, I'm gonna buy some weed.
So why can't it just be a connected blockchain type thing where you're verified, your money is good, the weed dealer is good, and everything? Like, I mean, that's basically what everybody's talking about with blockchain, right? Like, it's basically just verifying you, and then you have that verification. Everybody's on the same page, and now you go pick up your stuff. He gets his money, you get your stuff. There's nothing.
And there's a very clear transaction record. So the LCBO is looking at just that. I can't tell you why I know that, but they're looking directly at blockchain and then brokered blockchain.
I just saw it in the Global Mail is doing something about that.
Because blockchain, the whole value is it's open, it's distributed, decentralized, but there's a record for everything.
There's a record.
So it's completely up and but the challenge is that means that you know who bought. There's an increased chance of, there's something could happen if you had a list of people who bought weed. So there's the idea of having a brokered blockchain where it's public from the internet to the LCBO and private within the LCBO. So anything that happens within is anonymized, but the actual transactions, how many happened, what kind of strains were sold, what was the stock relative to sale, how many repurchased, what was the repurchase speed, how many times did someone buy a second order, kind of thing. That's all, because of blockchain, very public, so that it's all above board. But who bought it, why they bought it, where they went, doesn't matter.
So does Google, how does Google take stock of all this type of information, or companies like a Google to be like, I want to repackage and sell this? Because blockchain doesn't allow that to happen, right? Exactly.
It is the opposite of Amazon.
It's literally going to disrupt the situation. Yeah.
But that's another blockchain discussion. But yeah, we could. This could be a
but you're right.
for blockchain.
So is that not a coin within the blockchain? Is that a bonus? No, it's just
coin would be would use blockchain as an infrastructure to be able to operate. Like a digital coin would need that.
Yeah.
But one's an infrastructure and one's a use of it.
All right. Interesting.
There must be weed coin. If there's a dog coin or Doge coin, there's like kitten coin.
Somebody's definitely
coin.
Kitty coin. What does that do?
So there's a lot of these people making like these. They're like a Dwayne position. I think this is stupid. I think you're stupid for thinking it. I'm going to make one up just because you're stupid, and I'm going to become a billionaire. That's exactly what's happened with Dogecoin.
This is mad.
Yep.
This is mad.
So weed. So it's coming. It's coming. It'll be interesting to see now. July 2018. We're in 2018, so that's not far away.
July 1st. And there was talk that it might be delayed a little bit just because the conservatives are said to be stalling on the final approvals, because it has to go through Parliament and all that other stuff, right?
And for someone like the LCBO to put something in place to support this in a way that they currently can't, that's way more than 6 months.
Yeah.
So if they're stalling,
they've been working on for years.
No, they haven't.
Oh God.
The RFP
talking about working on it for years.
It might be public actually. The RFP went out from the LCBO for someone to build all the infrastructure they need.
Build the stuff, yeah.
They were supposed to be working on it for years.
I think the date on the closing of the RFP is 2018, sometime in 2018.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yep. And they may be just throwing tons of money at it, but no matter how much people and time, there's still the need. So if they're going to be doing a sub version of what LCBO stores are, and some new infrastructure to support increased transparency, that's something that's going to be hard to do in a quick amount of time. So July 1st might be maybe a couple of stores or one city, or a couple of stores in one city.
Yeah, I think they will have, if I remember correctly what I read, they will have specific stores in each city as the initial rollout.
Like one shop?
One or two shops. One or two LCBO shops.
It'll be like buying a new iPhone. Like as it comes out.
Standing in line for waiting for the first read run.
Or a Kate Spade outlet store.
Oh man, this is just
2 in, 2 out. Dwayne, the Weed VR is now more appealing.
Yeah,
because you don't have to wait for all this stuff. You can just roll it up.
Yeah, go see what's inside the store. Have it delivered.
But what happens when you order it? You say, "Yeah, come here," and then the guy bing bong, and they're like, "Dunk." They take his weed.
That's what the coin's for, son.
But if you drop ship, drop ship through FedEx.
No, listen, that's going to be a problem too.
Oh shit! Can FedEx deliver? Can UPS deliver?
That's going to be a problem too.
Whoa! Wait.
Distribution, moving illicit goods across the country. Look, it's not illegal, but I'm pretty sure you can't send a bunch of Percocets across the country without a certain
just like I'm gonna pause for a second. Amount. I have to go charge my laptop just a second. Okay. I'll be right back. Keep going. Weed it up. Get a new drink anyways.
More Lola.
More Lola. This guy and his Lola.
I know, man. Damn.
This guy. He could have picked anything else. He had to pick the fuzzy pink drink at the front. That looked nice. That's tuning to 110%, 10 degrees. Good God. So listen, when are we gonna do the Binky Barker strain? Legacy, legacy.
I'm ready. I've been ready for a while.
Rastafari, have to get in this thing, guy. I'm so upset with Jamaica. It's unbelievable. You remember when the Rasta stood up and talked to Barack Obama?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he's not wrong. He's like, you're gonna get squeezed out of this faster than you think. Yeah, sure, we could legalize it, but he says these guys with way more money who are just gonna like squeeze you like they did bananas, squeeze you like they did Bauxite Company. Like you have to have a plan. That's why I said it's better as a destination thing for people coming to Jamaica.
But that's what I think. That's where it's kind of headed right now.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, the people of the resort only make the money. And the street guys don't, like, you know what I mean? Like now, if you go to one of these resorts, there's a man who rolls up across the beach and says, "Yo, $20, let me give you a whole bag."
Mm.
Now, what happens to that guy? You see what I'm saying? Like,
loses hustle,
yeah, man. Like, it's like roadside jerk. It's like, people wanted to tax these guys or whatever, but they're only making a certain amount of money. I'm saying, look, make it at these specific spots, like a Rick's Cafe. This and that, like as a destination. But I also think that as a country as a whole, when people are sick or need a good vacation or they whatever, they've got the oils, they got this and that, and it's places that you can go throughout all Jamaica, not just the resort only, because people will make money. That gives jobs, even if they're not the ones owning the company, they're the jobs.
1,000% agree, but you have to make sure when somebody's coming to right, to that destination.
Yeah.
That if you say this is the percentage of this, this, and this,
Yeah.
that is the percentage of this,
Yeah.
and this.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's
but testing and there has to be some the checks and balances.
We have that. Like there's so much smart kids coming out of school.
Yeah,
so
but you have a man
that's
growing it right up in the hills or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Because it all has to be tested.
Jamaica has to do something where they're like, look, man, this green is not like any other green. We're the land of wood and water. We're known for this, or like truly organic. Let's just put that out there. Much like the reason why Blue Mountain coffee is the best coffee in the world and costs that much money. It's the same reason why we feel like that's the reason why you would come here and enjoy this particular strain, whether you're smoking it, whether you need HTCO because you're recovering from THCO because you're recovering from cancer bid or going through it or whatever the situation is, right? The same reason why I feel like Jamaica should have a worldwide track and field facility that anybody in the world can come to, just like we have in Calgary, where everybody goes to Calgary to go keep training.
The bobsled, yeah.
You know how many? I just saw it on Instagram. These guys are in Germany, and then they're in Calgary again. That's all they do. They go back and forth between those two spots. Mm-hmm. That the legacy of the Calgary Games, the bobsled thing, still making us money. Mm-hmm. So if you build it, they will come. Who's not coming to Jamaica to be to understand why you got the fastest guys in the world, right? Like, build that track and field thing and you build a hotel thing that stays and they can stay there. They get all the facility, the work, the food, everything.
Remember the Bolt story, right? I Am Bolt.
Yeah,
you saw like where he trades, right? Is not no glamour, no glitz. It's
straight.
So people are probably looking for like, oh, I want like. People always think that if you're training high level training, it has to be all
high facility. Yeah.
No, nope. It's not about that.
It's not, because when you look at those kids from, I think there was a little bit of a documentary on these Americans that went to, oh God, look at this guy with his Lola. Sorry guys, he's shining his Lola bottle in the apparently we're sponsored now by Lola because all in this bottle. Unbelievable. We're sponsored now by Lola. This, you know,
Lola
that.
And Deep V-necks.
Lola and Deep V-necks.
Deep.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. Okay. So I think I've come up with a way for us to take advantage of this weed opportunity.
Wow, it's the drink is sitting in. Let's sit back and listen, boys and girls.
And I'm willing to put it out there because execution is more important than an idea. So there is an opportunity. I don't know how people would actually take it or whether or not it'd be successful or not, but there's an opportunity to approximate the effects of weed on someone in VR. So you are an individual. Pardon me?
Are you thinking about it like a test?
No, you are. Let's say I know there's a lot of gaming in VR, and that's the number one use of VR. It's not the only use, but
yeah,
it's a you are gaming, and as opposed to like a power up pack or a new gun or something. I don't play these games. You can take some weed, and you approximate the effects weed would have or that strain would have on you in either your gameplay or your own person's response or ability to respond to the virtual world that you're in. So you can experience all the benefits of weed safely.
This seems like an addition to an hallucinogen effect with the weed.
Yeah, we could do that. You can then, not just weed, you can have LSD, you can just pick. As opposed to, hey, where are you going tonight? I'm gonna go to the beach. You're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to the beach with my VR headset. Okay. Have a good time with that. You can then say, I'm gonna go get lit up. Virtual weed experience. VWR or VW whatever. Wow. This is no way associated with Volkswagen.
Although they will come for your neck.
But we have to do something. There's something. There must be an opportunity to safely benefit from Bitcoin, weed, blockchain, virtual reality, and puppies. There's got to be some
And
way.
puppies, right? Yes. Well, either way, it's a huge industry, and I feel like you know what? If I was a herbalist and I was like that guy who is that dude in it, I'd be like, oh man, I'm all over opening one of these shops, even though it's like opening a diamond shop. You gotta have security, this, that, the other thing, the third, because it's gonna make that much money. But I think there are other accessory opportunities. One being kind of what you were speaking of, but I also think the restaurants, interaction, the places where you can come smoke safely in a safe space, that type of thing, like a cafe and infused whatever. I think that's the future.
I'm down with that.
Where it becomes a little bit less like Dwayne was saying, a little bit less creeping, hand exchange, like just something a little bit more that's normalized, because that's what the LCBO is doing, right? They're trying to make it regular, normal, safe, and verified, right? So you're not getting some bullshit. Right? Whereas Mans will be tell you, oh yeah, it was from such and such a place, and then everybody I know that smokes weed has always had that bad situation where they've got some skunk weed from somebody who stole some oregano or something. You know what I mean? Like one of them stories
where somebody takes like the crumbs from the toaster and adds that to some hash,
blackened it somehow, or put soot in it, or whatever it is.
I will penne. I will do a nice steak, finish it in a pan, maybe with some herb butter. I'm down with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I think, but I also think that I think the reason why I think weed does so well now is that, look, and this goes back to reading this book Tribe that I've been taunting for a while. I think it's one of the best books I've read this year. I think people are a little bit not unincluded. What's the word I'm looking for? A little disjointed from society, right? Like we don't know our neighbors, and we're just always stressed at work, and we seem to be self-medicating because Percocets are up higher than ever before, and Valium is up higher than before. And I think if anything that we need to take, I think weed is better than any other alternative in the world. Personally, I just think that if that's what it takes, if that's what you need to do to kind of make yourself whatever in that zone, and being somebody who kind of is a spiritual Rasta in that, except I used to eat bacon. I think that I just like the teachings, and I like the understanding of understanding yourself and eating well, and being and opening yourself up to a better world, and being in a better place, because for a lot of people, especially people of color, they've dealt with a lot of trauma. The Americans especially, that's why people are like, why do you smoke so much weed? I'm like, it's trauma. There's a lot of trauma. That's hundreds of years of trauma. But I also think that now it's coming down to everyday regular people. Like they're just dealing with a lot of stuff. And I think that's the reason why weed is such a big deal. Like it's weird if somebody says to me, when they say to me, you don't smoke weed, and not because I'm black, or they don't even know that I'm Jamaican. They're just like, oh, you don't smoke weed? Like, I smoke. All these white dudes I know smoke weed. I know almost everybody I know, either like, it's called the ratio 5-1 or maybe 3-1. They either partake every once in a while, or they do it on a regular now because it's more open. So, it's got to be something to it.
I agree.
I wonder if this means that all these corporations who practice mindfulness now get to get 5 minutes to kind of be present where you are, take stock of your emotions and why you're here and your intentions, and just being open to others and not necessarily being just a douche all day.
Yes.
Does that mean there's like a weed break?
So somebody brought up that point the other day. I forgot to bring this up. What happens now? This is an HR nightmare for me. For others, man, not for me. I don't give a damn. What happens when homeboy's vaping at his desk, his THC oil or whatever it is, and he tells his boss, "This is medical. You can't fire me." Now we're not talking he's doing mechanical things. He's not driving a car. He's not moving shipments. He's at his desk, he's doing his computer shit, and he says he needs it for medical reasons. Now he's not smoking in the building, but he's high. So what happens? How do you regulate that shit?
Yeah, but what's the difference between that and popping an antidepressant?
Fam, do you know how hard it is in the government to fire somebody just for drinking?
No, I know. But what is the difference between going out on break and vaping, or going out on break and taking your antidepressants, or going out on break and
I don't know. I'm asking.
You have your prescription for your Percocet or whatever.
There's no difference.
I think the difference that there might be, if there is a difference, is that if you take your antidepressant, you don't come back smelling like something nice. I don't think you.
So there is some etiquette somewhere along the run. Like you don't come in smelling like fajitas into a really important meeting that you're meeting with some people and they're like, dude, what are you doing coming in?
Hey, smokers do. Smokers come back and they don't even know. They just smell like smoke.
Right. I don't know. There's so many questions, man. There's so much to unpack.
Our culture is so puritanical in Canada, at least.
Yeah.
That everybody's ready to pass judgment. Hey man, you smell like
so that's what I mean. So I don't judge. I could care less. Like I was like, oh, you're bunning, wicked. Okay, cool. Can he do his job? Is he effective?
Mm-hmm.
Is it affecting his work? No. Then I don't business. But that's the reason why people are kind of like. And they're also with the dispensary. That's why I think what you're talking about, Greg, kind of makes sense, because people still kind of walk in dispensary. It's like walking into like a nudie bar or walking into a sex shop, and you're still looking both ways just in case when you walk out the door, somebody saw you walk in or out. So
getting gum.
Are we gonna get past that? I don't
know.
I think
because weed is not like alcohol for some reason.
But it will be past that.
Oh shit. I just spilled my Lola 3 times in a row on my laptop.
Oh Jesus! All over Lola, all over the laptop. It's about to go on fire.
Damn Lola, man. He was flexing.
If it cuts off, you better hope that's waterproof, son.
All right, it's water resistant, man. It's good.
All over the laptop. That's not good. Yeah, I think we do Barker. We just call it Binky.
Yeah.
Ottawa flavor.
Yeah.
From Yad. I wonder if we'll be able to import stuff. You're gonna need a special license for that. That's gonna be a whole
special license. You could probably import the seeds, but then you have to deal with it here.
The best stuff is in the Congo. They say hands down. There's a thing, I'll send it to you, the thing they did on Vice. Mm-hmm. They said it's like guys are like, they've never had anything as good as this stuff. Oh man, this guy really did it.
All right. His glass
He's
was
wiping
full.
up the table. His glass is full.
His glass was full.
Oh no. I wonder if it's really all over the laptop, bro. Oh, that's shameful. When you see smoke, I start up. I
think he got it. I think it's cool. Because if it was serious, it would have cut off.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to put your laptop in rice? Is that
put your laptop in rice? Open though. You have to open though. Gotta run those big Ziploc bags.
Yeah, man.
Oh god.
Lola.
Stuff. Yeah, Lola, mash up your whole game, guy.
For real, guy.
He's pouring off the liquor off. So he's holding it up to pour off the liquor.
See, if he stayed with the DC, he would have been fine, guy.
He'd have been good. Yeah, mess with frou
sparkling rose
light skin
wine.
drinks.
Yeah, man.
Did he knock over the whole bottle? He had to because he's still wiping.
Yeah, because it was down to like a third of the bottle, right?
Oh,
the bottom third of the bottle. He's using little baby nappies too.
Baby nappies. She's gonna be like, "What happened to all the nappies?"
Why does it smell like rosé?
Why does the baby wipe smell like rosé? I don't know.
You gotta unmute. You gotta unmute.
You're on mute. I can't hear you. All right.
Tuna, you're muted.
Oh, he's checking.
All right.
I think when he pulled the cord, it probably...
Systems check.
Man, if it...
And
you're good.
So it's not smoking up, so you're good.
So here I am. I've got like my coaster on the dining room table, and I've got the cup over here, and it just tips and starts pouring out onto the laptop. And I stop it, and I catch it, move it back up, and I let go, and it tips again, and pours more, and I do it again. Oh, what the fuck! And then it tips a third time.
Oh my god!
So I poured almost a whole glass onto this MacBook Air.
Because you're
I'm gonna hope that it's at least somewhat water savvy. Either that or you're gonna be replacing the top of those keys in a minute.
It's not mine.
Okay, one more thing before we leave on this weird thing. How does this affect sports? The NFL's going to legalize.
NFL's going to legalize.
Finally, stay off the weed. You won't hear that anymore.
Yeah. For the
because that's all guys do.
Yeah, right? Pain management. So they'll get the prescription, pain management, and they'll probably have an allowable level of THC or whatever. And
an unnamed football player once said to me. NFL player said that, look, compared to what those guys were doing and the fact that a lot of those guys can't walk and the drugs and the stuff that led to other things because they were taking these drugs to help them with the pain, the weed is 10 times better. The THC or the vaping it, the whatever they need to do, the cream, I don't care what it is, it's 10 times better than any of that other shit.
Even the Chinese business?
Oh, the Tiger Bomb thing. Yo, remember we'd swear by Tiger Bomb? Stink like what?
Tiger Bomb was a lit guy.
Yeah, I mean, I used to go to Grace and pick it up still on Bank Street and get the Tiger Bomb.
I still have some in most drawers.
You have to have at least one little bottle of Tiger Bomb
somewhere,
even on like an open wound.
Yes. Tiger Bomb is like the
that's how you know it's working.
National healer. Yeah, I think that'll be I think that's one of the best benefits. So we're gonna finally get over this, these athletes taking stuff that really just puts them in a worse place. So I mean, and then they got to detox and do all kinds of stuff before they get tested. They don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's not like it's a stimulant.
No, it's not gonna help them any one bit. It's chilling them out. Right. And a lot of those guys need it because to turn that off. I always say this is the reason why you get these guys who go under rage and snap and hit the wife or smack the kid or whatever the situation is. And a lot of times you don't know what's going on, but the homeboy needs to chill out. It's hard. You know how hard it is to be that intense on the field and then come off the field and then turn that off. And all your life they've been telling you to be an aggressive nutcase on the field, and you're supposed to just walk off the field and just be like, and then shut that off cold turkey. I don't know about all that. So the weed thing, I'm all for it. Let them smoke before they go home after a loss. You know what I mean?
You give them an ice pack and a spliff, man.
Ice pack and a spliff. Run that. Sit in the cold water and the cold thing.
Run it.
And you're like this. Your arms are out and you're spliff. And a man's just chilling and he's recouping and he's like, all right, well, we'll live to fight another day. And he goes home and he's happy.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to force innovation in the papers industry.
a better burning, kind of like what happened in teas.
Mm-hmm.
Better infused
slow.
tea. Yep.
Don't burn.
Listen, there are teas, right? Like before, it was just red rose. Remember? And then when the tea thing really came, then you got like, and I was like, man, this is what real tea tastes like. Oh, this is what it's supposed to taste like when you infuse it like in a proper silk bag. I'm like, oh.
Or cigars. Where
it's cigars.
Slow burning.
Yep. Connecticut, Maduro, like, all this kind of like these wraps.
But aren't those all tobacco leaves?
Yeah, but there's different leaves, like the way they're rolled, the oil, like there's things that you can do that make a better, tighter, or better burning cigar, like an even burning cigar. You can tell a bad cigar when it starts to break and it starts to like burn on one side. Like there's a lot of stuff that go on. A sign of a good cigar is when you can literally hold it down and the ash is almost to the very end, and it's you can hold the ash without it dropping off. So there's lots of, it's been going on for a long time. So people are really used to like putting together some really good, science to making a good leaf or a good cigar in general, well rolled, the kind of oils that are in it, all kinds of stuff.
What if you could make the paper out of weed?
I think that's another thing that's going to happen. I think there's going to be some sort of more natural
paper. So now you're hemp paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why guys are smoking Philly blunts, right? Like it was just the tobacco wrapping. They'd rather not that than the paper. But that's also why guys like to vape, because they don't want the paper.
They don't want the smoking part of it.
Right, so
what about spirits?
This is where that gets dangerous, because I don't know I've never read anything and I don't know yet, so I don't want to speak on it. But infused weed, like I remember guys doing lollipop, like those edibles, like in Miami, lollipop things are really popular. I don't know about alcohol. No idea.
Well, there's one that's
it's like a hibiscus type thing, like that it would be kind of pared down where it's just a flavor versus, like, does it even taste good? Does anybody know?
Like a grain alcohol.
Yeah, no, but
I mean, called the Green Dragon from a Nabixus mois. I don't know how you pronounce that shit. There's one out there, but back to innovation. So,
no, but hibiscus tastes good. So my point is, the only reason why you would do it is if it tastes good.
But now, if you have the ability to actually play with it, then you've got more people who are out there trying to make it taste good.
Well, somebody's going to do a liquor, that's for sure, and it's going to be a rapper. That's for sure. And it's going to suck the first one that does it. I can guarantee that before somebody figures it out. But yeah, it's not like sorrel where you like perfect sorrel over a certain amount of time.
Could be.
And I love my sorrel still. I mean, it's a plant. At the end of the day, people do stuff. I mean, but I just don't, unless we like sorrel has a particular taste, and if you can make anybody like it if you put enough sugar in it or just enough sugar and rum in it. But it's not like if you regularly drink it like how my aunt makes it, it's not supposed to be too sweet, or you know what I mean? Like it's supposed to have a nice simple flavor. It's almost like having a hibiscus. Like it has that thing, but the rum is what makes it, and all the other spices that you put into it a little bit. But there's a balance. Whereas
it sounds like a challenge, right?
If you're
absolutely,
I don't know. I would need to taste, even though I would do it just to taste it, not to get to the point where I'm going to feel like it's an inedible and I'm going to get high. But if there's a fusion where it takes the highness, like you take out the element of the highness, and there's an actual drink involved, then I think there's a real market.
That would be,
you know what I mean?
Synthetic.
Like, well, like there's a point where you could take apart the weed, and there's no high effect.
Just the CBD part of it.
Yeah, the CBD. Sorry, yes, that's what I was looking for. Right, exactly. So if there's that,
so you're making a drink, like a sorrel drink with the CBD added into it.
Yeah, them thing my top boy.
Just the next guarana or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
What were the opposite effect?
Yeah.
Or like how your mom would make bush tea.
Mm-hmm. Clean out, wash out. We call that.
God.
But you know,
sometimes you need it.
I was telling my kids about like the Cersei tea.
Oh, dude. But listen, I tell people you don't need X, and it's the most natural washout. But I tell you, I think take you down like a hoss, and it tastes terrible.
It smells terrible.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
You cry like I don't want to drink it.
Drink it.
Drink it.
Right now,
You're
I'm
not
finished.
Up from the table.
Yeah, and my mom would look in the cup. She's like, "What, you think I'm stupid? It's not done yet." One time, I used a whole box of Kleenex and put it in my pocket, and we soaked up the drink.
You guys never added corn syrup to it?
No, dude, I can't get away with that kind of stuff with my mom. She knows stuff. Like I can't.
Where am I going to find the corn syrup? She's standing over me. She's standing over me.
Speaking of corn syrup, these kids talking about real maple syrup, guy. I only know corn syrup.
Real maple syrup infused weed tea.
Okay, so when it comes down to things for like desserts and stuff like that, and some sort of euphoric feeling, I think that there's always a market for the food stuff. But when it comes to the liquor stuff, I don't know what kind of levels that is. I don't know anything about that world. I know liquor goes right to you, so I don't know what that kind of effect. And I want to be the first one in court. Explain why my man tear off half the mall with his car driving through. Awesome. I don't want none of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's the one drinking. He mashed up the whole place, mate. And he did it with a Jamaican accent, so I'm not trying to do that. But I think that the liquor thing would be like Greg was saying, if it's the right kind of strain, I think it would work. Look, the alcohol markets, absinthe. What's it called? Absinthe. Look, that was like crazy back in the days. Like, there's levels, still is, but it's made a huge comeback.
Yeah. Like, people think it's like free basing where they light the shit.
It pretty much is free basing. Crazy. With the sugar and the whatever. So I mean, that for a while was like illegal. So I don't know who might say.
But with the decriminalization, it just means that we've opened the door to where can you put your weed in there is the question.
Everywhere.
Yes. Everywhere.
Is there a weed salad? A big salad?
So is that going to be a whole other thing? So beyond the smoking, is the food thing going to be an issue? Is that now what our level is, the FDA or whatever it is called, Food and Drug Administration? Like, can you actually put that in foods on the shelves? No, you can't. There's kids involved.
But you can put it on the food in the shelves in the weed stores, in the licensed weed stores.
Right. So like your salad dressing infused weed.
Your potato chips.
All that stuff is coming.
Weed.
Yeah. I mean, the baked stuff makes sense because the baked stuff, people have been doing that for a long time. The baked stuff and the candy stuff has been happening for a long time. Right. So you're gonna get, like, if Jamaica was smart, they would make weed infused ice mint, because I can tell you they can't sell that for like around the planet 3 times. Those are the best mints ever. But that's marketing and whatever. But when it comes to the food stuff, and the food stuff is tough.
You know what? I'm in support of all this, because I do think that the LCBO does a good job in completely bamboozling people from, hey, I'm taking down the availability of liquor from everybody else to just from me.
Yeah.
And instead, look at all this. Look at all these options.
Yeah.
Look how nice these people are. Wait, there's a vintages section.
Oh yeah.
Sale today. This one's called Lola at the front there.
Yeah.
If there was an organization to kind of bring it to the masses in a controlled way,
well, somebody's going to do it.
LCBO. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, I guess that's that for that. But our last section is what we talked about at the beginning of the show, which is I was speaking to myself and I said, you know what?
How do those conversations go? Who talks first?
Usually my inner self first. Hey, eat that boy. I'm like, yes.
I would have. Yes.
We are eat that boy. I've been reading a bunch of stuff about memory and getting older, unfortunately, and what the thing that I came away with was just acting skills or things that you can do to kind of not just physically but more mentally than anything else to kind of keep you sharp and just to keep you learning, because we tend to, like, as soon as we get past a certain age we feel like we know everything and we don't want to learn nothing else, unless you're Greg, of course, um, who's constantly learning, teaching me something. I don't know. But I feel like I need to do something that's challenging more, all the time. And sometimes I've been like, ever since I got my 808, my DJ 808, I was like learning how to program the beats again. I was like, oh, this is good. But then I had to read a lot of stuff. And then I was like, oh, the programming stuff. And then I was like, oh, I can attach this with this. And I'm like, oh, if I knew how to code, I could probably map this. Right. So then I was like, and then that came across something about learning. And they're like, if you learn a language, you're obviously your brain cells are dying by the seconds that once you get past like what 30, was it 30 or 40 or whatever it is. And to like keep your memory and be a little bit more lucid, it's good to learn a language, or I think the other one is to do math skills or something, but reading is also one of them. And learning a new skill, musical skill, like a piano, trumpet, whatever, any kind of music, because it helps with the complexity. So this year I am learning to do more programming on my 808. On my machine that I've got here, and I'm gonna try and learn some coding so I can start mapping some stuff. So I've never done any of that. I mean, I know guys in studio, I know the basics, but I've never put something, programmed it completely together from scratch, 100%. I know how to tell people how to do something. I know how to tell guys how to sample certain things. I know how to tell them to put the highs and lows and sort like that. I can help produce a record, but I've never done that. But it's just for myself. It's literally just so I can learn something else. I was going to do a language, but maybe that's next year. One thing at a time. That's my give.
Cool.
And you guys think that you'd want to do or try to learn, or is that something that appeals to you? Do you feel like that's kind of getting necessary as you get older?
It's very necessary. Extremely necessary, man.
Go ahead, Dwayne. Nothing about grandfather?
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's out there.
So yes, I agree that we should be keeping ourselves fresh, but maybe less so about like the getting older or keeping our faculties sharp, but more just about being able to have choices. So if your side hustle could improve its financial outcome through learning a skill, why not do that?
Right.
So in our case, we've got wifey who's like never going back to work, and if Dwayne's wife continues to tell her that that's a good idea, that she'll continue to think that she's retired. But what if there was another skill that could be polished or learned, for which there's a market opportunity to use that skill, so that a wifey could stay home with baby and never go back to work.
Yeah.
Well, traditional work. So being able to have freedom. So language could be that. A different kind of skill could be that. I completely agree with the need to kind of always be learning.
Yep.
And then it's just the, I guess both the patience and the ability to see through this idea and not just procrastinate. So what we're thinking about,
I feel like I get, while you're saying that, I feel like I do get a little frustrated when I'm learning something new, and I'm like, oh God, what did he say? I'm looking at the video, then and I read back the thing, and I'm like, what? Okay, my brain's too tired for this today. I'm gonna put
next.
Right? Yeah.
There's some like rerun of Seinfeld somewhere. So we are thinking about the idea that in this world of consumption that you should be looking at content creation. thinking about making kids stories.
Oh, I like that.
That are available, so that for someone who's in their room with their youngster saying, "Hey, Alexa, can you read me a story or read us a story?" There's just not enough Audible books available through these devices that are sold by the millions. So we're thinking about taking our two skills and putting them together and enabling Heather to be drawing from our stories in life, and making characters that come to life through short stories made for kids, distributed through between Amazon Alexa and Google Home and all those types of things, so that people could love it, and they don't have to, it doesn't cost them anything. And now with the desire for these platforms to get people to make stuff, like they're paying you. So Heather could just make good stories.
Yeah.
Call E, and hey, I need to draw some cover art of like this character for this something. Let me share some monies with you that we get. And it's a new skill that allows Heather to have the choice of not going back to work in the traditional sense. So I agree.
I like that. That's really cool.
I have a voice artist for you, man.
She could do tons of voices. Get all these characters.
Oh my gosh. She would love that.
Oh, she would love that.
And then Heather was getting like super deep. She was saying, remember all those stories like from your mom's like upbringing, where she'd have to drop out of school to raise her two older brothers and work on the other side of the island for an Indian woman, cleaning their house and taking care of their kids.
Yep.
And then she'd go to the market and boom, my sister Marlene came. Taking the stories of like your life and then the life of the people that are around you that you love, and finding ways to put them in a way that isn't preachy. It isn't trying to tell necessarily a super deep story, but a story that would be interesting to hear for kids.
But inspiring, and I think really necessary, because a lot of them are the same old story, bro. Like our stories, there's some really different angles every time. You know, you've heard every other story, every other angle of the same, you know, I hate to say it, like the same white male, female kind of story, and you're not hearing these other kind of struggle stories that are like, but not bad. Like it's always, you know, they were poor, and I'm like, yeah, they were poor, but there's a great story behind it, like the love and they found each other, and you know how they really worked, and they spend Sundays and they go do barbecue in the park, or you know what I mean, like stuff that we used to do. I don't hear those stories. I don't hear any of those stories.
And it could be from the perspective of like a little character.
Of course.
Pilou the pretty pig. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a pretty pig.
So we've got tons of books. So when Heather was having a shower, she was saying to the girls, like, we don't need things. Just bring a book. Yeah. So Isla's book collection is pretty substantial. And there's ones that she loves and ones that we love. And between the two, are there any similarities that we can learn from, that we can draw best practices to say, if it was like this kind of formula-ish, and we apply the message we want to say, is there room for us? Yeah,
in the story, like telling the story?
Well, applying... So there are some best practices. So normally it's rhyming. Normally it's taking two things that you'd never think would be together, or taking things you've never done for the first time, or things that are so simple that if you open the door you can see them, like the leaves are falling. You take a look at the really successful titles like Llama Llama Red Pajama,
right?
And you see Ludacris actually jumping in and doing like an adult version freestyle.
That's one of the best things on the internet ever.
And what is it about the Llama Llama Red Pajama? Well, there's some alliteration, there is some rhyming, but it's short and it's things you wouldn't have put together, and they're new at the same time. So if that's the formula, could we take the things that are from our life that perhaps aren't the same cookie cutter, but apply it to the formula that makes sense and see? And because it's a low cost medium, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And if I do all the stuff and she does all the stuff, could we, between the two of us, flush out the skills that we should have had but don't have, or do have but are rusty? to do all this ourselves.
You could do some great stuff and have like these cool little collaborations where people come in. Like I'm like seeing like, watches and not watches and celebrities, but like guys who have watch collections who are kind of known celebrities and people. And then you see the, Cars and Coffee and all the rest of this, like all these really cool things. And that is a very organic collaboration that's come through the world of podcasting, really inspired by it, and just like the world of interviews. But you start doing kid stories, and you guys keep creating this world, and keep hearing stories from other people, and you keep bringing in other kind of guests or cool people that just get to tell their edge, and then you get to tell that story, but told to us by so and so, and carried forward by us. I think that's amazing because there's so many stories. Mm-hmm. There's this great thing that, just because I know this will work with that you're talking about, because CES recently revealed this machine that while you're standing in line, if you're bored, instead of looking at your phone, it'll print out a story. So it's a short story, and you're standing in line, and people are all over it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's only a corporate for corporate and businesses right now, and the bigger businesses and stuff like that. And people are just kind of gravitating to it because they just want to have something else tangible in their hand, to not be on their phone scrolling, but they read these great stories and then they hand it to somebody at their work, and it starts to spread around, right? Like there's this cool effect that's happening. So people love stories. And if you can tell different stories that are being told, or other people's stories who never really told the story, but they allow you to kind of share that with the world, that's real content. That's like invaluable. It's just sharing. You know what I mean?
I have to talk her into it because it sounds a little bit like work.
I mean, I don't think it's. I think that if you guys just keep them short stories, it's not novellas.
But if you're thinking from Heather's perspective, okay, so do you mean between 9 and 11 and 1 and 3 when she sleeps and she's not sleeping?
Right.
Or between like 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. when she's sleeping and I'm dead tired? Which of those times should I work? I was trying to find a way, man.
What about sounds you? A good idea in theory, though.
What do I want to try?
Yeah.
You're trying lots of stuff all the time, so I know it's different for you.
Yes. I have a stack of books. Right, so every Christmas I get 2, 3.
Oh, like the ones behind me.
God, yeah. But I recently took a speed reading course.
Really? Yeah. Can I ask you if you're learning to read in between the lines and not on the edges of the lines? Like, I mean, like the edge of the words, and you're only reading in between.
It's funny the technique, and there's a on Twitter at Jim Quick. KWIK. That he has like a whole technique and this and that as well. I want to check his out and compare it to what and it was a low cost course that I went to, and the guy's technique, like he basically
in Ottawa you went to?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And basically it's I'm going to give you these drills, right? So anytime you go to read, do that, like it's almost like a warm-up drill, right? Do this warm-up faster than you would read, and then kind of gradually slow it down to the speed that you want to be able to read and comprehend. And it's faster than what you normally read at anyway.
Wow.
And it was a 1-day course, and I was blown away at the success of it. Right. And I'm still using the technique. I don't get to practice it. Well, not that I don't get to practice, because my day job, all I've been doing is reading. So I use the techniques there. Right. And my speed and comprehension is up. So I know it's up from what it was before.
Really?
Right. But I haven't been able to apply it to, right, just my casual reading. Right. So that the challenge, I think for me, I want to get through. I'm going to pick 4 of the books that I have that I know that I should read or should have read. I've read half of them. I'm going to make sure that I finish them in the next 6 months. right? Over and above all the other things that I have on the go.
I'm on an hour reading a day now.
Oh yeah.
I had to because I was like reading, and I only put myself to 2 books. I have a bad habit of reading multiple books at once.
Yeah, you start and then you'll put it down, and then something catch your eye, you'll start reading that.
So many good books, especially when I was in the States listening to NPR. I'd be ordering books all the time, like Economist, this guy. There's so many interesting stories, and I just feel like I'm overwhelmed. And I was like, okay, Rich, 2 books max, and you don't pick up the other one until you at least finish 5 chapters in on, I'm on that ruling because I haven't been finishing full, try to finish that. I just finished doing this book about Timbuktu, and it wasn't that long, and then I'm gonna get into the 5 Rings, but I was gonna finish this essentialism book, but I haven't figured out. But I also I think that I don't read fast enough, so that's one of those things I have to. That's why I'm kind of interested in what you're saying, because I think I would be more fulfilled and finish more books in a year if I learned to read a little bit faster. I mean, I'm slightly dyslexic, so that's what happens.
Yeah, it was funny, the course, and just to kind of make it tangible.
Mm-hmm.
We had, I'm going to say, about a 240 page, let's say 210 page book.
Okay.
That he gave us at the end of the class. All right. So we'd read a whole bunch of paragraphs, this and that, the other thing, gone through all the exercises. And then he basically said, I'm going to give you 30 minutes to read this book. And there was no way that at the beginning of the day you could have told me I'm going to read 210 pages in 30 minutes.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah. And I read it and understood it. And we had a discussion about the context.
The context. Yeah, because it's one thing to read and fly through stuff. It's a whole other thing to comprehend.
Yeah. And it blew me away. I was like, yo, I can't, there's no way. Right? So just to go from that starting point to the end point and see progress and success, it was inspiring. And I'm like, yo, I just have to make the time to read. And I'm taking courses. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I'm improving my French. I want to learn another language on top of it. I haven't decided which one.
I'm leaning towards Spanish.
Easier for me
because I already got the French, so Spanish is the easy leap.
But the French, for me, the French is the conversational. I want to be able to straight,
you want to work in French.
Yeah. You want to work in French. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
writing is a whole other thing.
The reading and writing, I'm like, I can deal with that. But to stop thinking English and start thinking in French and conversing in French, that's my challenge. Right. So I've got all those kind of ongoing things that hopefully by the end of the year will be right. I'll be able to tick off some of them. And then,
what did you say the name of that Twitter was again? The guy?
JIM KWIK. Jim Quick.
KWIK.
Yeah.
Is it his real name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Asian dude. You should be able to see it.
Oh, I'm gonna see him. That's cool.
Well, so he's got a whole system, and he's got a podcast, and there's lots of free content and stuff like that. So I was doing research about speed reading before I took the course here in Ottawa. And I was thinking about kind of his methodology as well. So it's something I can I'll probably look into as well, because he has tips on memory and recall and all that other stuff. So
right,
it's pretty impressive stuff.
That's cool, man. That's impressive.
That's impressive, especially since there's this increased perceived need for CEOs and leaders to read a book a week.
Yeah.
How do you read a book a week if you're always busy? Maybe this, I don't want to call it speed reading. That seems to minimize what you're talking about. It seems like it's more than just that, but being able to read quicker Seems like it would be something that more people would have to be able to do better.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Clinton you're always astounded by Bill Clinton's knowledge. And I think he's a speed reader. Like, he has to be. That guy be like, yeah, I read anybody who sent him a book, he was like, great book. Be like, in days.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Oprah's another one. I think she speed reads also because she reads a lot of books. I know she has people who assist with her with like find out the books and stuff, but she doesn't do the Cliff Notes thing. And that's, you can tell when somebody's sitting in an interview and they just got the little key points about ask them certain questions about certain chapters. You can tell. But she's real on it. Like, she must be another one because she reads books like it's going out of style. So
it's a skill, right? It's something that you practice, and it's a skill, and I think it's important.
Yeah,
because I know when I'm not paying attention, like if like I'll get distracted by this, and I'll read the same paragraph 3 times, and
Do you think that is part of the reason why? Because I think social media's kind of ruined the way I read stuff. Patience wise, do you think that we're getting worse because of social media? Because everything's really fast and real short reads. Like, I like reading the New York Times. I read the New York Times on my phone because I get to like not get distracted by the ads, and everything else is just the story. And I actually read really fast reading through the app versus reading the newspaper itself.
Well, there's certain setups, right? If you have thin columns, so think about reading a newspaper, right, where it's multiple columns or 2 columns, and the fonts that they use have the serifs, the tails, right? And like, it's easier to read in that setting as opposed to something that an essay where somebody gives you, right, Arial narrow with like sans serif, it's like right this long for the paragraph, and like it's just you see, right? So some of the hints that I was given, like if you can reformat it, right, what you're getting, reformat it to suit
how your reading style.
Your reading style.
Oh, it's interesting.
Right? So change the font. If you need a bigger size, change the size a little bit. Make sure it's in 2 columns. Like, well,
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So imagine a browser plugin.
Yes.
That reformatted
somebody make that
into your specific preferences.
Somebody make that. Optimize for your reading.
Yeah, so it's available in most browsers to be able to force all web content to show its content in your style sheet. So the browsers allow you to do that, but then there's some magic needed to be able to give you the chance to be able to identify what works for you, and select your columns, do this, do that, and then force everything. Interesting.
Wow. You put me onto some gold right there, Mr. Barker. A lot of gold right now. A lot of gems, my friend.
Always learning, man.
Seen. Yeah, man.
And then from a fitness standpoint, and I don't know if I told you guys, I just did my knee surgery.
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't hear that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So I did it on Friday.
Scope it?
Yeah. The meniscus scope and clean up. So I'm hobbled a little bit. But once I'm healthy, right, with the range of motion and all that, I want to get a 4-pack Shakur. I want to be able to see.
Shit.
I don't need a 6-pack. I need a 4-pack.
Just need a 4-pack. Yeah, I mean, you need just
to know that they're still there. You know what I mean? I haven't seen them in a long time.
He's like, hey, you.
Speaking of which, we still haven't registered for the try.
We didn't pick one yet. And you didn't send me no info yet. I don't know what you're doing. Don't bring me no bush place where like there's bears hunting and there's something.
For real.
You know that because I ain't out running no bear when I'm dying tired.
Mr. V-neck.
Mr. V-neck. Bring us up in the woods with bears and shit.
There we go. I'm reading the schedule. Okay, so there's a bunch. There is Milton.
Milton's easy.
Guelph.
You guys.
Hey, dude, not that far.
Niagara.
That's further for you.
Aurelia.
Aurelia is
Guelph
what,
Lake
north?
2. Yeah, it's like Barry.
Ish, yeah.
Guelph Lake 2. It's another Guelph Lake. Gravenhurst. You don't want to Gravenhurst. I'm already going to be doing Gravenhurst, by the way.
Where's Gravenhurst?
It is no, close to Muskoka.
Oh, okay. I have to look that up on my map.
So they're all going to be around between Niagara up to Gravenhurst, so everything in the middle. It's so deep. We have to find a time where there's something going on that you're going somewhere anyways.
To learn how to swim.
You know, I'm gonna have to give him to like end of summer, maybe.
For real, guy.
So I think the last one is Gravenhurst. I think
that's your next book. Read how to swim.
Okay.
Read and comprehend that.
So let me confirm, and I'll send the options to you guys in the Google Hangout. The last one I think is in the end of August, beginning of September. I think that one is Gravenhurst. So it need to be.
Gravenhurst is far, son.
It's all relative. Gravenhurst is the one that I went to, and that's going to be the one that I'm going to go in. So I'm going to race against you. Two motherfuckers right there. And I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do 2 this summer. Yeah. And that just means I have to be able to get a good enough shape to do one and then be able to recover. And
we just need big enough floaties. We just need big enough floaties for my man, and we're good.
Yeah. Give me my man floaties, man. I'm good.
Man floaties.
Yeah.
I guess it also means that your kids are going to have to get one of those drone cameras.
Just to track you. He's going down. He's going down. Jump in.
There'll be a lifeguard there.
That's me.
My quest
even meaner. Dude, that's even meaner. Oh, there'll be a
to
lifeguard there. Don't
dragged
worry
out of the
about that.
pool.
Yeah, there'll be 16-year-old redhead.
Dragged out.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's my quest.
Yeah,
Don't be that guy that gets dragged.
Don't be that guy who gets.
Don't be that guy.
Well, it happens all the time, apparently. So I only went to one. I've only been to one. And a dude, there are,
Shit happens.
Yeah, it happens.
I am not going to be that guy. I'm sorry.
I
will wait till everybody goes
never tell
ahead.
nobody. I'm just saying, things happen for us.
At the beginning of the race, someone's going to come up to you. Are you okay, sir? And tap you in the back.
Yeah.
They're going to put one of the trackers on you. Make sure they know where Dwayne is.
So today I did my workout. I'm going to talk about CrossFit right now. So because the Open is coming and I know summer's coming and if you think I forgot about any of this challenge shit y'all be talking about.
So what's the Open?
The Open is basically I'll send you a link to it. It's basically
I'm playing.
You know what the Open is? Okay, you're a bitch.
But for the rest of the listeners.
Okay, so the Open basically is the annual test for most people in CrossFit, and you can do it RX, which is as recommended, or you can, and if you do it as recommended and you score high enough through a 5-week test, you get to the regionals, and if you get to the regionals, then you move on to the CrossFit Games. The workouts consist of anything various between gymnastic movements, Olympic lifting, and any other types of functional fitness stuff. If you look online, you can find CrossFit Open, or go to CrossFit.com. They ain't giving me a check. And you can find all that stuff. It's pretty cool. But I do it every year. It's not for me. I'm not trying to get to the games. I don't give a damn about that. I just like to see where my fitness is at. I had a very, very bad Open last year. Very bad. I was really I was unmotivated. Probably a little too heavy. Thank you, America, for the food. And that was really embarrassing. I did a workout where I was literally falling apart. And I was like, not again. That's never going to happen to me again.
So what weight do you have to get down to, do you think?
I mean, I'm dropping now. I'm probably down to, if I can stay at like just wave at 210 to like what ultimately I want to get down to like 205 seems aggressive for me, but 205 would be a nice way. But I think 208, 210 is something I'd like to stay at, like well muscled at. But you know, I don't want to touch the 210s.
Are you joining the Masters?
Yeah, of course I would do the Masters. Of course.
Are you kidding me, man? Yo, whether it's a Masters medal or not, it's still a medal, huh?
I am not trying to compete with. Have you seen some of these kids, yo?
Yo, the machines,
Although, you know, I out squatted a lot of kids half my age, bro. So I can say that.
Yeah,
I got a 415 max. Ain't too many of those kids out there doing 415. So it's all good. I haven't done 415 in a while. I probably bought like a 3
for 415 for
365 3. Oh yeah, I got a 5. My max was
no. I'm saying they can't touch 415.
There's not a lot of kids who are touching 4. Like if you're just walking in a box and a kid looks, he's got
that's
my
4 pies, man.
Huh?
That's 4 pies.
Yeah. But you gotta. I'm not talking about leg press. These kids leg press. These leg press machines. I'm talking about proper squat, all the way down and all the way up. Yeah, me and you, that's different. But if they ain't playing football, these kids can't hang.
Damn.
Unless they're on some roid shit. I'm talking about raw. No belt, no sleeves, nothing. Get down that end, it's gone. Guys my age can't do that. Not many, anyways.
I don't know how long it would take me to work up to that, like work back up to it. But
well, you could do it. You could do it. I think it's even. I think guys who have good squat ability already will always still at least touch 300. I don't think I'm ever. Not for a good while.
Embarrassed. If I didn't have 3 pies and a quarter, I was embarrassed.
Oh, dude, trust me.
Like, yo, I had a bad day, guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I used to fill the rack with the not the squat rack, the what do you call it, the press,
the hack squat rack.
Yeah, whatever.
Leg press or hack squat?
No.
Leg press.
The leg press. And get underneath it. A man would sit on it, and I'd load up the thing with all the plates and be clink, 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 and I'm the smallest guy in there.
Are you still on there, or is it just me?
Yeah, I think it was you. I'm sure. But yeah, I think that's one of those things where, you know what, when you're that good for that long and your muscles and your legs are just that strong, it's just muscle memory. And I lost a little bit. I popped a couple muscles here and there every once in a while because I was doing some dumb stuff. But other than that, I still got a pretty good deadlift. I got a 465 last time I checked. I was going for 500, but I'm like,
I was gonna say
it hurts.
Stop chasing it. What happens?
I stopped chasing it. I stopped chasing it for a reason. I think it's like there's the same reason why I stopped chasing a 500 pound squat. I'm like, for what? I'm 415. That's it. I don't see the purpose of me really going there unless I'm actually doing it for a competition. I probably could. I could train up to it, like, because I was getting there and I was like, and I wasn't doing. Then I did a little bit of a tear, and then it was okay, and then it was fine. And my knees, and then I learned how to squat even better. So I stripped the bar down completely, and I was just literally squatting with the bar and reach and relearning how to squat, which is a bitch because you just want to go back to what you know. So that's why I haven't gone back up that high again, because I was relearning everything, and now that I'm kind of much better hip hinging and all that type of stuff.
What role did sumos help?
You know, I don't do a lot of sumos. It does help the interior of your legs a lot more, and because of that strength. And but I haven't practiced doing more sumos. I've been practicing not leaning over forward, keeping the bar high on my shoulders versus a low bar squat, which makes you go over a little bit more, like when you watch the powerlifting guys. But you know, listen, you can't take anything from those powerlifters. For me, after 500 pounds, it's whatever. I don't care what technique you want to use, whatever. If you squat and get a little parallel, I ain't gonna say a damn thing. I don't care how wide your feet are. Like, it is what it is.
It is,
you know what I mean?
It is what it is.
but when you're down in a certain amount of weights, I think that the better the technique. And look, some guys have better weight. I wish somebody had spoke to me about mobility when I was much younger. I wish that I had the kind of person who would have been like, your stance should be this, you should be standing up. I should have took gymnastics when my cousin was taking, and they gave me the opportunity to go, because I think every kid should either do ballet or gymnastics, just as a mobility, like as just understanding your body more. Because I think you lose a lot when you go in the gym, you do the exercise, you play football, but you don't stretch, you don't do all the stuff after, you don't do any active recovery. I don't remember Luigi, any of my friends doing any of that stuff. I don't remember doing that stuff in track and field. We just go out there and run. You just either you got it or you don't, right? If you're talented, like now we know so much
more. The only thing is to put your hand over your head and
yeah, exactly. yeah. I mean, I wish I knew more of that stuff back then. So, I mean, now that I know, I at this point, everybody's like, "Oh, what are you working out for?" And I'm like, to pick myself off the floor. If God gives me the grace to be up to the years of 70 and plus, to take myself off the floor. That's the goal. That's the goal. I have no other real goal.
Yeah, 2018 is going to be a different year for healthiness and lifestyle for a couple of reasons. One is because I'm a grandfather.
Yeah, your grandfather, eh?
Grandfather.
And you have a little one.
At the same time, a little one, and because I watch the movies that I watch in the train, I have to be able to defend myself and my family from someone coming at with a knife.
Yep. It's true. No, man. Yeah, listen. I know it's like we laugh and joke, but it's the one thing I was like, I gotta be able to at least move somebody at least 10 feet.
Yeah. And then
that's what squatting's for.
And because I'm downtown Toronto,
yep.
I need to be able to maintain. Remember when we were doing like 200 meters, and it's like the 80% for 200 meters?
Yes.
You need to be able to do the 80% for 200 meters to outrun everybody.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, yeah, you can run marathons, but I'm going to tell you something. You only need 150 meters to get away from anybody. Like going. A good 150 meters. If you real about it. Yep. Ain't nobody catching you after that.
So I'm on the block at work downtown. There's been shooting, stabbing. Yep. Around the corner, there's a bomb.
Yep.
I just can't be near any of that.
150-meter good run that gets you like clear from anything whizzing by you.
Defend the guy coming at you with the knife.
That's 25 meters to the corner. That's 25. That's 50 meters down the next street, and that's another 100 meters down the other way. So what? Give or take a few meters. So.
And then why stop?
Yeah, then why stop? Like if you got it
anyways, just keep going to Union Station.
You got it anyways. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? You get that mile in.
I'll get a better seat. Let's get a better seat in the train. So that's all I got to worry about. So I've been thinking about, what does that mean? Do I go back to what am I doing again? Do I go back to like a lean bulk and try to hit the 500 this and do this, or do I do the running? But I'm not. What am I going to run for? 200.
It's a combination of both, though. I think you got to be maintain what you have. And you both all of us have good amount of muscle mass and strength, so now you just got to keep that good muscle strength and be able to be mobile, because if you're mobile, then you're moving stuff, people, mobility, things, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. But if you go to run and your leg cramp up as soon as you take 3 steps, you're screwed. Yep. You're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you got to get away from somebody, or if you need to push somebody and move somebody, and something cramps up right away, well, then what's the point of going to doing all that weight if you can't even do anything with it? What's the point? You're going to take you anyways. You know what I mean? The point is you're going to take his arm at least. If you get in that situation and you got nothing, you dropping stuff again?
No, I'm stabbing up with my thumb.
Oh, stab him up. You stab him up.
Just remember the thing with his thumb.
What's that favorite word that he used to say all the time? Like, cut you. Let me cut you. Joke you. No, it's true. I just think that, look, we don't. When I was in Vegas, I had like pepper spray and all that stuff, but I'm like, can't carry guns with me. I'm not licensed. I'm not an American citizen. So one of these guys come in here, it's like, yo, it's me or them. I mean, he might put a hole in me, but I'm gonna have to hold him if somebody's in. I got to protect what's here, so I got to do what I have to do. So my mindset is always, you're gonna be first before me, always. Mm-hmm. I don't know what could happen. If you have family, this and that, you're the first line of defense. Everything depends on you. Therefore, you can't be afraid. It's gonna be like, it's fight or flight. When we had the car accident, my brain works fight or flight. We fall into the ditch. I'm like, yo, everybody out of the car. I don't know what's coming next. Could be 2 more cars coming. You have to just, like that's the way I think.
I'm gonna be flighting that one. I'm going to be, hey, where'd that guy go? I want to stab him. He's gone.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. There's a time and a place for everything. If I see like if a man pulls a tang on me and I have nothing with me, I ain't sticking around to figure out if I'm strong enough to take it from him. I'm gone. 150. I'm sprinting, mate. Oh, man, I ain't trying to stick around to find out what's what. If I get that close quarters, then that's what it is.
So there's like in bodybuilding, there's weightlifting, there's functional sport, and then there's I got to be able to run to Union Station and defend that guy trying to stab me up. Pure Punisher.
Pure tab you.
And then I'm out. Where'd that guy go? I really want to stab him.
Hey, well, I'm to act. Oh, yeah, he's gone.
What is station number? Platform 9 and 10.
Platform 9 and 10. What are you doing here so early? Oh, man tried to tap me up, so I jetted.
There's 4 trains now, so I can catch them up before. I have to run past the Japanese cheesecake guy.
Yep.
Stop for a cheesecake and then
stop for hold on, Japanese.
Bring it with me. There you go.
That Danish bakery place is amazing.
I don't think it's better than the Japanese cheesecake guy.
I've never tried. I try to. I know it. I try to avoid because I already know I like cheesecake, and
I brought one home for the family, and no one had any.
Dude, you ate the whole thing, mate.
It was in the fridge. They just slipped.
Why
didn't they grab a fork?
Yeah.
Why did they wait till 9 o'clock? It's
you
like
stay there, keep looking at it, and you're like, you know what? If you don't eat this, it's gone.
Them never wanted. Is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you get. Yeah, man.
Or at least they didn't want it more than me. But yeah, the 2018 is functional. Make sure I'm around for the 2 baby girls.
Yep. There you go. They're gonna be best friends.
Yep.
Like 16 months apart.
That's crazy.
Auntie.
It's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
All right, I'm just gonna own it. So my son Trey, he got married, and they're having a baby. It's very happy. Good for them. I did have a moment like, what are you doing? You're so young, but I never said it to him because it's not my place and it's too late anyways. And they're happy. So do you want a relationship or do you want to be right? Right. So
true that.
It was more that I'm not ready to be a grandfather. Not because I'm not ready,
more
but
about
just the
you.
word. Yeah. Narcissistically, it's just the word.
Yeah.
Kids, no problem. Another kid, no problem. Someone else's kid, no problem. Yeah. Grandpa. I took so much joy just now recently, Richard, asking if you're going to be competing in the Masters of CrossFit at 50 plus. But
you're funny.
I took so much joy when I said that, and it's a thing that went right over your head. Of course, yeah, Masters. No, it's 50 to 60. I was like,
no,
so much joy in that.
40 now. Sorry.
But yeah. I went from being the youngest father for most of Trey's friends to being the oldest father now for probably most of Isla's friends when she grows up.
Right.
To then one of the youngest grandfathers
Yeah.
Amongst other friends, all within like years. Anyway,
Progression, man.
Isn't life funny like that? Yeah.
I don't find it funny.
Well, I'm finding it funny.
I understand others do. Yeah. I appreciate you guys being judicious with your ribbings. Is it going to be the right time and place?
It's all love and support, man.
There's all love and support, but there's plenty of ribbings, guy. That'll never stop. That's just what it is. Extra ribbings. Well,
Yes, amongst my friends, I'm the first grandfather.
Are you?
Yes, sure.
Wow. Who else do I know in my films that got grandfather? No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe Frank is Frank. No.
Yeah. God.
Man, you are the first person.
Yeah,
holy smoke!
So we found out Christmas Day, and Trey was at his new wife's parents' place for all that kind of stuff. He came over, gave us like a Christmas card with ultrasound pictures in it.
Surprise!
Hey, there you go. What's this?
Surprise!
And then a couple of days later, letting us know it's a girl, what the name is. I said, what about the other names? No, we only have one. Why do you only have one name? We don't like anything else. All right, I'm just going to stop asking these questions.
Yeah.
So I'm over at Heather's parents' place, and her brother and sister are there. Her brothers and family and all that stuff's there. Now Heather's parents, like their health is deteriorating, but like they're 79 and 77. So it's, there's just the things that happen to 79-year-olds.
Right.
So I'm standing in the kitchen, and Heather's mom's behind me, and she's super nice, and like she's just a proper Scottish lady. And I was just telling everybody the news, and she said, "Oh, so you're a grandfather?"
Just like that.
Opened up your whole world.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Don't say that. And she felt apologetic afterwards. So this year is not about functional, it's just being able to be healthy, be around, minimize the likelihood of hurting oneself, to be around for these people. That's it.
Word. It.
And make sure the high blood pressure isn't an issue. So on that point, so I had like a bout of high blood pressure, and she asked me if my heart was racing. I said, no, I just move quick. And so she sent me with like a take home thing. And I think I told you guys this about like the heart rate was like crazy high. The blood pressure sort of was crazy high.
Oh, really?
Where the people taking it said, okay, show me a chart, there's a chart in the wall. And so this is the range for normal people. This is the range that you should be worried about. This is the range to go to the hospital. And this is the range that when you're in the hospital, you change rooms. That's where you are.
Wow. Like that?
So they gave me, it's so super high. And then they gave me some blood pressure medicine, low dose, just to kind of help things out. And I was at the doctor's recently. This is the same doctor that handles baby girl, Heather, and myself. So we're there all the time anyways. And she took my blood pressure, and she said, wait a minute, this is hurting you, I can tell, because it just hurts the arm. I said, do you have like a bigger one? As I'm flexing, right? Do you have a bigger one?
Wow.
So she used the bigger armband that would fit. And, like after 16 inches or something, you just need a regular, like you can't use regular. And then she took it, and the blood pressure was like way normal. She said, wait a minute. When you go home, check the one that you bought that you're using to test yourself and see whether or not the issue is simply that you're constricting your arm. And when taking your blood pressure increases because you're doing something with an armband that's too small.
Wow.
And I was thinking, are you saying I'm too big? And I get home, and it's the fucking right size. That has nothing to do with it. There was like a one moment in time where the testing was below regular, and my regular standing and resting heart rate is still too high. I have to do something about it. So 2018 is those things, or are those things. So there was a moment in time where I thought that I was
start born weed.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what you need. I think you need to have you need to be
at least the CBD,
at least the
CBD oil
or the THC. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Finish my steak in. Well, I'm not using butter anyways, but anyways. Yeah, so 2018 is about fitness, but functional and alive.
And to get off the pills.
And so that when people say, so the reaction normally is, A, you have a kid? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I think I'm some, what are you saying? And then they give a look of incredulous where they say, you have a 24-year-old? And then a different look as if, how many babies do you have? When you say, you have a 9-month-old? Yeah. You know, how many baby mamas do you have? Like it goes down that track. And then you're a what? You're a grandfather? So what I want to happen is I want them to all say, you just look way too young and hot for any of those scenarios. And I say, have you seen my V-neck? Have you seen my V-neck? Let me show you. Let me take off my scarf and show you my V-neck. Yep. That's what's up.
That sounds like a pretty good plan, man. So and a positive one. So that's important. Okay, well, I'm glad that we all have these. It wasn't just me.
Nope. And we and reminder to our listeners that we're planning to do the triathlon this summer. So we were referencing it kind of high level referencing, but we are registering. I'm going to put a date.
Yep.
Today is January 15th. I think by the end of the month we should have registered.
If anybody wants to help my man be able to survive the swim, please reach out to us via the podcast, and we'll probably have some email or something.
Floaty McFloaty needs some assist.
Yeah, ideas like what kind of floaters is there?
Whatever, man.
Is there a wetsuit that's floatable
that I can buy?
They're all.
That I ain't renting that.
Yeah. So the wetsuit is the flotation device.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get the right one.
A secondary flotation device, so the wetsuit plus the man floaties, and then I'm guaranteed not to sink.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I don't know if you need both.
Yeah.
It's like wearing 2 sets of floaties.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
No, I'm not going to be that guy. I am not going to be that guy.
No. He'll quit before that happens.
Just practice whatever stroke you're most comfortable with.
Whatever it takes.
It takes. Dog paddle, breaststroke, it don't matter.
Backstroke,
as long as you get through. I'm never gonna knock a guy for getting it done. Whatever it takes. It's called scaling.
Yep.
Know your abilities, scale correctly. Mm-hmm. Well, it's now after midnight, gentlemen, and I think we're done.
All right.
Although this was a fantastic session, it's probably one of our best ones yet. All hail the weed winners, and
and for those who are losing, just retrench and try something new. Maybe virtual reality.
Yeah, maybe virtual reality will come through.
Weed coin.
Yeah, weed coin. Fit coin. Whatever is going to work for you. So thanks a lot for all y'all listening, and we hopefully that you're going to start your year something new and inspiring. Considering 2017 was such a weird year. I won't even say bad, just really weird. And we're just going to continue and have positive vibes and keep it moving. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. So many good things, though. So let's keep it like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Peace. One love.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Okay, we're off.
Right.
By the way, you guys know Steve Harvey's 60, right?
What?
Yeah.
Is he? I feel like he's 50 something.
No, he's 60.
Did you see that white jacket he was wearing on New Year's Eve? Pimp jacket.
His mom's jacket.
That pimp shit. People were like, "Oh, that's your mom's jacket." I'm like, "No, that's some pimp shit right there. That's some Chicago Chi-Town." He probably had white gaiters on.
By way of Paris. Yeah. Yeah, good for him. Whatever he's comfortable with.
Not that one.
You. Okay, so I will. I think the last one I didn't actually put up, but because it wasn't a huge rush, I didn't put it up, and I didn't finish editing.
I'm just dissecting that other piece because I'm actually putting like a little and like because the vocals were kind of bad. I'm just kind of like putting markers in that song. Dwayne is putting voice markers, and I'm gonna overdub some stuff. Like not overdub, but I'm just kind of like do like a narration thing to it, and just like I was asking the question and there's answers coming, and just so because it's some of it is really good stuff, but just not fully like to let it listen to it. Just
have you heard
some gems in there, but I feel like if we put it out, it's just gonna sound shitty.
Do you listen to the podcast called The Pitch?
No, but I just it's funny you say that because I just heard about this last week or the week before.
And one of the things that he does often, the dude, is either the segment that they're talking about is going too long, like someone's like going deep into some part of the pitch no one wants to hear anyways.
Yes.
Or something's happening. So then he decrements and ducks the recording of the person in the room, and then he comes over with a narration, just kind of summary. So this guy just talked about this, what he meant by was this, and now they're going back and forth, but let's catch them back and find out what everybody really thinks.
And then it cuts to the most important part of where I think I'm gonna have to do some. That's what I'm learning some ducking. I was telling you about ducking and stuff like that.
But the pitch is a good examples of ducking because I think almost every episode he has to do that because either they're getting into the weeds or everybody's speaking over one another.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's like a whole a lot of stuff that other people don't really need to hear, but you just need to give them some context and then bring it back in.
Or it's going too long because he's got like 40 minutes normally or something.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Great, and because it's Gimlet.
Yeah, Gimlet does good stuff. They really are on their shit.
Do we? Okay, it's too early, but do we want to? Do we want to do anything to shout out to Gimlet so they can shout out to us?
You got that connect? If Gimlet down for something,
we can make the connections.
Yeah, we could always make the connection.
Yeah, let's reach out.
I could do like Gimlet and Loudspeaker Network and all those other guys who are doing some stuff. That's Combat Jack, piece of Combat Jack, by the way.
But they have a whole bunch of new shows. They have to come up. Their challenge is coming up with new shows all the time or new segments. Because I've been tracking those guys for years. What they're doing this year is more than I've ever seen them do. They're like doubling down. They're like really going for it. And I'm wondering if one of their shows or some content that they need is covering other shows that are starting up. And we're like a podcast startup show. We're not a company. No. We're just a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering whether or not there's benefit.
Yeah, we could always reach out to them and find out what's up, man. I'm down.
Yeah, so the VR thing. It's happening. It's starting on Wednesday, doing a VR travel experience so that you can go skiing in Lebanon and then book a trip, but do it all in VR.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't mean VR as in these like cartoon drawing motherfuckers. It's like the equivalent of a Cannes Film Festival quality submission cinematographer.
Right. So if you want to go to Rattan in Honduras, you can see the resort, you can see everything, you can walk around and look and be like, you know what, I think I will stay here.
Yeah. And in fact, you could just stay there.
Right. Yeah.
So you can book a virtual room and sit there right now in front of the ocean.
That's crazy.
Put your feet in the water, and then the dude walks up selling you fucking seashells
for a virtual room.
That is free. But then to then say, you know, I want to go there. You don't have to leave that experience, go to TripAdvisor or Expedia or something. Just do it all there. Have
book direct,
the most appropriate packages together, easy to see, select one.
Pull across Minority Report type shit.
Or even simpler, they're just, here's the thing. And either using voice match or something new, be able to enable a pay right in VR. And the rest of the other stuff, like getting your flights and all that kind of stuff, that can happen elsewhere. But making the experience of experiencing places and then booking those places super immersive, and more importantly, being able to pay in VR, so that just like Face ID is so cool and just like voice match is so cool, being able to pay in VR, even if no one ever does it, just means that we did it and someone else is paying us to do it. So it's no big deal. I But the more you're into VR, and the more that you actually look into it, it's an opportunity that you almost have to take to hedge your bets.
Yeah.
Of all the things to do a couple of things. One of them is VR.
I think, like I was telling you about the music thing, I'm telling you, once guys get in a room and start collaborating, it's going to change how guys make music and actually collaborate together properly and make things cheaper, obviously, even more cheaper. But I think the opportunity is going to be with like native instruments, Roland, because Roland stuff, I think they know what I'm talking about, because Roland already has their entire music synthesizer stuff in the cloud.
You can already use Roland machines in VR.
Yeah. Well, it's not in VR, but it's so easy to make that application happen.
No, there are existing,
yeah.
But it's not from Roland. It's from Oculus.
It's not from Roland. It's from Oculus. But I'm saying is, the guys who matter, all it needs to take is somebody to say, like, I'm going to put the Phantom keyboard, the Roland whatever, and put them all inside there, and I can try out these sounds, and you get a license, like a key license, like the way you do a key license for Serato or any of these other guys to get access. And you can buy different things and plugins and all the rest of that stuff online, and you can go and virtually play on, like, through the piano thing, like you're literally playing. You can look it down in your hands. It's all there. But at the end of the day, you get so much more access to the cloud stuff, and then you're collaborating with somebody and says, "Oh, try this sound," and then okay, here I'm gonna pull the sound to go like this. So it goes, and some guy does. Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. How about this sound? Okay, play that again, and you're literally doing that. That's going to change everything. Telling you.
So we can do about it.
I don't know how to build this shit. I just know how people work in terms of what they're thinking when they want to get, how these kids are working right now, and that's going to be the next level. The same way kids love to, like, I couldn't understand why kids want to be playing on a tournament all day on the computer, and now there's these big stadiums full of kids. I'm like, okay, I get it. That collaborative thing of seeing people real time and being in that situation, is what they're being online. That's why they're spending so much time online, so that they can somehow get in the ego. Now there's money involved. So now you got superstars that are all living in, like, there's a whole YouTube series where these kids are all living in houses, mansions, training for the next whatever games. Like, it's a Olympic thing. It's unbelievable. And they're sponsored by, like, basketball athletes and guys who are, like, sponsoring these teams and putting them in a house and letting them, all they do is play all day. Right. So if you're looking at that now, you got a guy like Kanye, and he's got a bunch of guys on his team now, and he needs to do stuff for commercials, this, that, the other thing, and the third.
Yeah.
You just got guys who are collaborating 110% every day, all day, and nothing else to do. And you're collecting all that coin, and they're using all the services. And you go to these guys and say, listen, I can get you through, and people will use your services, and the key, and I want a license to use a key for a year. And it's $100 or $200 every kid. And whether you're going to be a band or you just want to be creative, just kind of like how Photoshop is in the cloud now, you can use all kinds of stuff. Photoshop, you don't need to, like, buy the whole entire goddamn suite. You can use it for a month. You can use it for a year. It doesn't matter. It's going the same way. We can build that platform and make it viable. We can do plugins and plug stuff into a wall virtually with somebody else in the room. Guys will sit at their desk all day and do that shit. That's money in the bank. I've been talking about this since summer. After what I saw VR, after when I was online watching these guys with VR, and I put the VR glasses on, and I remember seeing VR a few years ago, and I was like, when I was at CS, and I was like, it's okay. And now I see how immersive it is now. I'm like, oh yeah, now it's there.
So there's a Toronto VR meetup.
Yeah.
That I'm going to invite you to.
And
so I joined that Toronto VR meetup just to hire a couple of dudes just to see what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just posted on Friday, actually. I said, hey, when's the next meetup? Because I didn't see it posted. And then, oh, by the way, I'm looking to hire a couple of freelancers. I had like 5 people reach out all game developers with experience saying, hey, I want to work on something, even on the side. If you were to find like-minded individuals who are interested and want to do this as a hustle, you have to pay anybody.
No. Yeah. I think there's a few guys who do it for sure.
I think you get a minimum of 10.
Yeah, listen, all I need, like, all the rest of the stuff is already built for them. The online cloud stuff is built. All they need is to be able to make an interactive, very sharp room that is truly functional to work between two people and literally collaborate using Ableton or Logic, FL Studios, the three main ones, and then you could expand later on. But if they could do that and then use Serato sample this and that, and then use the plugins, whatever plugins, so you can do all the virtual different sounds and all the beats that are available and the downloadable loop packs and all the rest of that stuff, that can kind of come later if you already have it. If there's somebody, it's already rolling in the cloud. There's nothing on their desktop they need to do. Like, you literally are making music there. They need to build that platform so that it's easy for both two people to interact and move stuff and plug in things and push bell curves and push this beat up this way and put it behind the beat. Like, literally just grab it and go like this in virtual shit.
And but then also the output of that actually output music into another location for storage or usage or playback or something. Mm-hmm. So there's the playing it, but then once done, or the collab once done though, where's the
download? Yeah, where's that with that drive? So like, there's drive space business, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just,
or if you're an individual and you get to collab with a producer that you love,
mm-hmm.
and it costs nothing, but it costs you something to download what you just created with Timbaland or something,
then you get Xbox or you get PlayStation involved. Because back in the days when Grimes first started, it started on a PlayStation. It was a program. It was like Papa the Rapper. You could kind of make your own beats. It was like minimal little bleepity bleep bleep beep beats. And this is right after Garage was kind of going down. And these kids were making beats on fucking PlayStation, bro.
Yeah, PSVR sells a lot. Not as much as the others, but yeah. Oh, what happened? I saw someone walk by. I have to be able to stab them.
Oh. Yeah, you mind yourself, eh?
I think we have to find a way for you to play some VR that gets you over the hump.
Me?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Avery isn't coming over and saying, "Hey, Dad, can we
get a $500 THESIL?"
Yeah.
Although the new stuff that I just saw at CES is a lot more, they don't have all that wires hanging off now.
Yeah, Oculus Go is going to be $200.
Yeah, it's getting cheaper and it's better.
And the new gear, the new Daydream VR from Lenovo is $400. But
yeah, the Lenovo was cool. It looked
the Oculus Go is $200, but it's going to be $200.
Well, they're making all that. All they need to get. Listen, they just want to get you on, because the money is in getting you on. Like, right?
Actually, with your phones, you just need a $100 headset. Really, you don't need nothing expensive.
Yeah, not even. I got a pair of VRs here somewhere.
I was spending my like a small bootleg set or whatever. I played around with it. I was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's different to watch a movie on it or something, or look around. But when you get really immersive, like when you try one of these games and you're standing there and you're on one of those roller coaster things, that shit'll change your life.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what?
I was in the Antarctic.
I had to sit down. I remember I had to sit down. I was like, okay, I feel like I'm really moving and I need to sit. Like, it takes over your whole senses.
The shitty ones, though, increase the risk of nausea. That's the only challenge.
Oh, for sure. If it's not done right and moves too fast, or the pixelation, it's like watching a big screen movie and there's a lot of action happening and there's too much stuff happening and it's not caught up with the digital. You know what I mean? Like when you watch something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Anyhow, I'm going to stop
invite me
this
to
broadcast, and I'll invite you to Toronto VR. all it is meet up with some dudes, and you will likely find some like-minded folks who go to Sheridan College or something.
Yeah.
Who just they're working some accounting firm, and they're out of school 2 years, and they just want to do something on the side. They love music. They love music production.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's where it's at. I'm telling you. Gonna have to register some shit just to get that ball. Yeah. That's the early game. That's the early walkout. And then it's just building relationships with the other guys, which is what it's all about at the end of the day.
So for the other guys, I'm building with both Oculus and Google. Mm-hmm. So I make those intros whenever ready.
Sweet.
I'm having Google when companies go to Google and say, hey, can you guys build some Daydream VR thing for me? They don't have a list of software companies to do that for them yet.
Oh, right. Wow.
Just like they didn't have a list for those who wanted to do the Google Assistant stuff. So now they have a list for Google Assistant, and we're on it, and they're referring people to us. But I want them to go, oh, VR. Talk to these guys over here. His name's Greg Fields.
That'd be cool.
That's what I want them to do. That's what I want them to do. And it's close. It's probably 2 weeks away.
Wow. That close, eh?
Yeah. Well, you gotta all be niche specific. VR for something at work.
Yes.
You want to make a game? There's like millions of people out there. You want to make some
doing that.
Some medical like surgery bullshit, whatever. Someone else will take your money and risk a lawsuit. Yeah. But you want to make it easier for facilities to plan their next renovation of their 4,000 square foot place in New Jersey.
Right.
And they want to work with Steelcase, and they put a headset on and physically try it out.
Physically visit the spot. I mean, it's like doing AutoCAD, and that's what you do in front of the menus on a computer. So you might as well see it virtual, walk around the space and go like, I want to switch this. I want to move this. I think this looks good. I think this is unsafe. Blah, 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 blah.
Move it yourself. Fuck, don't talk to me. Fucking stop talking to me. Put on this headset, pay some money. Fuck off. I mean, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And then work with Steelcase so that anybody who comes to them and says, I want to renovate, they can say, once you come to my showcase, whatever room, my $1 billion room. And since people who do, like when Liz was part of that team doing the thing in Jersey with the whole neighborhoods hot desking renovation thing for that building, like the software part is such a small piece. Like they pay millions to people like Steelcase who charge them over the course of 4 years. They give you a loan, really. It's a huge investment. Adding a couple $100,000 on top of a couple million, that's nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Well, to us it is, but
yeah.
Let's like big corp.
Let's put that in context.
But how much is it going to cost? Hey, right now, nothing. It'll be amortized over 3 years, just like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It'll be like 1% more for 100% increase. I'm just
okay. Let's do it.
That sounds great. Your numbers are great, Greg. Great numbers. They're bullshit. Yeah. So the VR thing, I'll be able to show you a demo of walking into a 360 video of a resort where you can actually check things out, but it's just a 360 picture. Really, you're not walking into anything; you're just looking around, and then you choose an event you want to go to or something you want to go to. And I want to make it episodic, so every 2 weeks or a month or something, you get an invite. Hey, bro, you want to go skiing in Lebanon? And it's a tour-driven event, as opposed to you just like want to go somewhere and you might book something yes or no, but you get like a tour guide dude who's there, and you're like walking behind him into the club. Bumps, 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 bump, bump, bumps.
I got you. Yeah, fix up your foot.
You can't hear us.
Okay. All right. Well,
sorry. We can't hear you. You can hear. I don't know. You look like you were favoring your leg.
You're favoring your leg?
Well, I've been sitting on the chair for.
Yeah, so you got to stretch it out.
It's it hurts. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
when did this happen?
When did you just do it?
Friday.
Damn. Oh yeah, it's still gonna.
I thought you're supposed to be on crutches or something.
Are you taking anything for the pain, or are they just like whatever? Yeah, I think. Yeah,
that's it.
Just take some manish water and you're good, you know. Go rub yourself inside Dunn's River Falls and you're good.
Yeah, the sea bath, man. That's what I need.
Yeah, exactly.
Go get Peaches. Tell her to go hook it up.
Oh, when I heard it really, really, like, when I heard it, I didn't feel when I heard it, but I knew probably 15 minutes after I heard it real bad, and it hurt for a month.
Right.
So compared to that pain,
yeah, this is whatever. This
is nothing. Yeah.
How long was the surgery?
I couldn't tell you. Honestly.
Dunk.
Yeah, like, I was in the operating room. I'm like, yo, this is what an operating room looks like. And they're like, yeah, blah blah blah. They're talking, and the next thing I woke up and I was in a different room.
Like, what just happened?
Yeah. So it was. I think each surgery is they say about 10 minutes for the scope, and he'll do like back to back to back. I was like, there were 4 people ahead of me type thing. Yeah, I went in got to the hospital at 12, and by about 3:30, I was in
and out.
Yeah.
Holy
damn.
And most of that time was spent kind of just waiting.
Oh, right. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, which was cool. I'm like, hey, you know what? If I was somewhere else, I either would have to pay to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or, right, I would just not do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I'll wait a couple hours and have a professional that does this on a regular basis do it right.
Yep.
And are you off for a little while?
I'm supposed to go to work tomorrow, but I'm going to call in. I don't want to, because I went to soccer today to kind of test it. I was just walking around.
Just to see how long you could stand on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
pressure.
by the end of the hour, I was like, whoa. Yeah. So I can just being at work and walking around and all that, and not being able to kind of sit down and ice it when I want to.
And it's your right leg, isn't it?
No, the surgery was on my left leg.
So you can then use the your right leg for driving. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can drive around, and my worst case scenario, my good leg, my right leg, my strong leg is still okay, but like I'm hobbled. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, but are you using crutches?
No.
Why?
Because I don't need a crutch, man. No,
maybe a pimp cane.
Funny story. After the surgery, like the nurse was like, "All right, so I'm gonna have to like wheelchair you out of here," type thing. I'm like, "Wheelchair? Why would you wheelchair me out?" Right? I'm thinking it's fine, man. I'll just stand up. And so, no, it's policy, blah blah blah, and you're still a little bit groggy and whatever. I go to like just to shift to get in the wheelchair. I was like, oh yeah, let me just sit there.
Oh shit.
Yes, please roll me out. Yeah.
So she rolled me out, and then I kind of hobbled into the car. Peaches drove home, and
she rolled you out.
Shit.
What was she like? What was her name?
I can't remember any of those names.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Were they bouncy?
I hope they were.
That'd have been good.
Okay. All right, on that topic. Yeah. Yes.
I had the hell of a workout today, and you guys don't even want to ask me what the workout was, because I know I'm going to hear some shit about CrossFit. So we're just
you're not. No. You'll hear the very quietly.
Yeah.
But you already heard that earlier.
Sure. My workout today was, I'll tell you, hold on a second. Seeing how you're asking. And I know
your
you're
WOD?
really interested.
Is that your WOD?
Yeah, I blew my WOD today.
Your WOD.
Yeah. It was so one of the open workouts, which is 17.4, which was also 16 points, 15.4.
What do those numbers mean?
So it's like, the 17th year, or 2017, and then 0.4 would be like 0.1, or 0.2 would be like the first workout, second workout, third workout, fourth, fifth workout. This open workout.
Wait, is that for everybody? Is that like a Nazi thing?
Yep, that's when they announced it.
Okay.
So they open to this year will be open 2018. 18.1 will be whatever the workout they surprise you with that day.
Yeah. And there hasn't been 18.1 yet?
18.1 is coming up soon. So it starts, the first one is February, the end of February. And then it goes into March. Let's see, 55. What do I got here? Oh yeah, 55 deadlifts, 55 wall balls, 55 calorie row, 55 handstand push-ups if you get to that. So it's a 13-minute time cap. So you got to try and get that in a 13-minute time cap. And if you finish those, then you can go back around and try to get back in. There are guys who do 3 rounds in 13 minutes.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, I shit you. Now, the deadlift is the deadlift is 225, and the wall ball is a 20-pound wall ball.
I was about to say, that's 55.
Yes, sir.
That's 25.
Yeah, I actually scaled it today, and the last time I did it. I mean, I scaled it. I mean, I put the weight lower because I haven't been back doing that much load in a while. So I did the last time when I actually did this at full capacity. I just got off the rower and got to the wall to do the 55. I got like a handstand push up. That's it. Last year when we did it again, I fell apart, like I told you, and I got to. I was actually sick that week. I was in Ottawa. I had to go do the workout. I got 10 wall balls in. Yesterday I did my strategy was right. I was trying to do 3 minutes per so I could get to the wall. I kind of fell apart on the rower, went a little too hot, and I got 40 cals on the row. So if I do it again, I'll probably get to the wall, no problem. But I did it wrong. Went a little too hot.
Doing 55 deadlifts at any scaled weight though, isn't that bouncy as opposed to
so there's rules, right? One. So there's rules. So you can't use the floor as a bouncing, like there's a way to game the system, right?
Exactly.
And everything's got to be put on video, so they'll know. People try to game. Some guy last year tried to loop a video of him doing I'll send you the link. And he's a doctor. He's a really good dude. I actually follow him for his mobility stuff because he's really good at it. But I think the pressure of trying to make it back to the games as a competitor was a thing, and he, completely. But it was like you wouldn't have known. Like the HQ caught it, and they're like, "What?" And they disqualified him, obviously,
banned him from the sport.
But he fucking bamboozled the video because part of the video is you got to do a skip, and then it looks like he's walking backwards to the skip, and then he's doing the wall. And then it looks like there's a little pause, and then he goes to the wall, does the wall balls, or whatever it is that you're supposed to do, and then he's back skipping it. So it looks like he's just walking back to walk back over to the skips and picks it up and then goes again. So he did those, but it looks like he adds rounds, it clips. It looks like he edited, so he just re-looped his first part and then did the rest of it. So it made him look like he qualified for, highly, to qualify for the games. So they caught it. And I've never seen anything so scandalous. Yeah, you re-looped a video just so it looked like you actually did more than you actually did. Wow.
Was it doctor?
Yeah.
So then this
sounds like Costanza.
Yeah, that's a total Costanza move. Total kid stands
Not
up.
me, but Cassandra. Do people record their own, or do people record for others, or just within the box? Do you all do
so
it?
usually, so they've been tightening up on that. So usually, you have, I mean, before the open is really truly open for anybody to go into. You don't have to be at a CrossFit box, but usually what needs to happen is you have to have it certified by somebody who's a CrossFit judge, like, or somebody who's certified to be a CrossFit judge, or be signed off by somebody who is an official of HQ somewhere along the way. They've seen the video, they walked it through or whatever, and then they look at it and they're like, okay, cool, and they sign off on it. And you if you're that kind of athlete, you're probably submitting the video. If you're not that athlete, you're not submitting the videos, just for you to see how far you've gotten over the year. So
Gotcha.
not everybody's submitting their video, like, at the end of the day. But if you get a great time and they say, oh, okay, cool, let me see the video, because we want, like, if they think it's a little suspect, all of a sudden you went from 200 last year and you're up in, like, the 40, 50 range, they're going to be like, I need to see that video. So, yeah.
Nice.
Anyways.
All right, cool.
All right, kids, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, man. Keep these ideas flowing, man.
Yeah, man.
Put some money.
Hug that Pitney. We are listening to, man.
I'm just getting myself ready.
This guy, idiot.
Listening to life.
It's the V-neck.
Dude, how did you live with this dude? In his madness.
It's the V-neck. We were all mad. That was the problem.
That's the problem. Everybody was mad. Oh, shit. All right, man. I'll catch you guys soon.
I'll
talk to you in the week.
Yeah, man.
Blessings.